People, it's time. Street Fighter League is back after a short break. We return to the action, and we are almost, if not there, at the halfway point. That means the runbacks are about to occur. Before we get to any of that, get to run those introductions real quick. My name is St. Cole. I'm joined with Vicious, my friend. Hey, man, how was Japan?
Bro, it's a bittersweet feeling. I knew that was going to be the main question, but man, do I miss it already. I miss being able to broadcast from the dungeon. I miss being able to talk with all the crew and the cast there. I got to say, it is really, truly a bittersweet feeling. But I will say this, one of the best things that I was looking forward to is pretty much the continuation of Division F going into it. As you had mentioned, this is exactly at the halfway point. As soon as this day is done and over with, the standings are going to be ever so vital because that's when we start to get the round robins going, right? So again, a lot to look forward to in the land of Street Fighter League Japan and a lot of stipulation going forward, so I'm as excited as ever.
Super excited to see what's going to be happening with a lot of these teams, especially Belc Gaming, as they are very, very below. In fact, the most lacking team out here in the totality of the league, only with 10 points in the inning. So, as mentioned, they got to turn up like volume. We go back to the round robin league format, as you mentioned, with the home and away side. Just go down the rules real quick. The away side puts up the characters and players first. The home side second. That gives the away side a little bit of a disadvantage, but that doesn't really matter in this season. As you see right here, the away side has been only recently on the downturn. For some reason, the away side has been able to overcome that little bit of a deficit of them having their characters and players up first, and has had the proper strategies in preparation, I should say. Now, going down the rest of the rule set, first to three, for those matches coming up. And if need be a first to one, that's 10 points, 10 points, and 20 points respectively. And that first one, aka first to death, will be 5 points. So it's a possibility of 25 points, but you want as many points as possible. $40 definitely necessary for some of these teams out here to get to that top spot of the playoffs above the qualification line to stay fine, because that will be coming up real soon. Only 3 teams will move on from the playoffs to the grand finals. After they fight it out, only the top team out there will be moving on to the grand finals, I should say. But that means we still have more play to come through. I mean, we've almost gone through about 60 games. I'm sorry, 30 games to go to the 60 games in totality. So get to that top spot. And look at the money, though, for that top spot. How much is on the line here?
We got 8 million yen on the line, supported by all the partners involved in Street Fighter League, with 5 million going to first, 2 million going to second, and 1 million going to third. And to remind you folks at home, those finals are going to be right around the corner. Actually, we had just announced the dates for Capcom Cup, but one of the more important things before we even lead into that is the Street Fighter League finals for Japan. That's going to be happening in February. And the tickets for that, they have been going and going and going. I don't even know if they're gone yet, but I've been stayed updated by Fugutabete. He's been telling me a lot of these tickets, as soon as they were up, they were selling like hotcakes. For those in Japan, you guys got to get right on it, because again, as soon as you blink, it's going to be gone. But one thing is for certain, I'm going to be taking my sweet time when it comes to getting the Samurai Burst on, baby. Hey, cheers, fellas. You know what I'm saying? It's drink time. Perfect timing. Hey, I'm all energized up, man. I need it.
Dang, that's crazy. At least tell me what it tastes like. What's it taste like?
Ooh, it's kind of like it has a light, like ramune flavored. So it's like some of those flavored like ramune drinks. It kind of feels just like that with like the little energy buzz to it, which is really great. I actually really enjoy this.
Okay. How many did you get of those?
Just one, and I saved it. As soon as I got it from the studio, I packed it in my suitcase and made sure that was like wrapped up and protected, because I needed it for this gimmick for the show. Because I gotta say, that was the only time I was gonna be able to do that. I only had one, but I will say, this is pretty good. I would love for like maybe like a case. That'd be kind of cool. I would love to like fulfill any sort of sponsorship obligations, and also be able to name some of the awards for the players going forward as we get ourselves into this part of the league. Now, being able to award the players on an individual basis, kudos to all the sponsors that made this available, and kind of like bring about a lot of these the celebrations going forward. It's a very, very much so welcome change, right? We've got some new awards courtesy of the sponsors involved. The awards go as follows. We have the Season MVP, Rookie of the Year, the Point Getter Award, the award for the best and highest win rate, as well as our personal favorite, the Drive Impact Award. I don't know who's going to get it at this point. It's pretty much a toss-up, but the fact still remains, if you could land as many Drive Impacts as possible, win or lose in terms of your games, hey, you still walk away with some money.
That's pretty good right there. You know, the success rate, I think, so far is in Machiro's favor in totality. But, you know, mentioning, again, the love that we've seen out here in the land of Japan for Street Fighter, you see watch parties right there, for people that are getting more involved with, like, the VTubers and things like that, the official players. Jun, I believe is his name. He's like a legend Ken player now. Like, that guy is super sick at the game. And then also, he's also a musician as well. So you see a lot of people coming through from various areas, various genres, enjoying Street Fighter at high level, or getting into it a lot more with Street Fighter 6. It's just cool to see like that love come through. And we see that also in the States as well. And of course, you're gonna have the watch party with some of your favorite players right here. I would love to sit down and watch Pugera and Tachikawa. They're just absolute characters. But again, it's cool to see just around the world the love that Street Fighter 6 has been shown. We saw over in the States, Sage Jam Slam, a lot of people from around other areas, like my boy S-Fan, playing Street Fighter 6, and many other people just enjoying the game and getting their communities into the game. It's just beautiful to see just the love around Street Fighter.
Yeah, there's a big collaboration going on as well. I think it was just announced earlier today where they have like a line of VTubers getting their merchandise collab ready for a lot of the fans as well. I think it's going to be like a big gacha system too. I think there's going to be the more items you would purchase from like merch, the more you get rewarded for it. So it's like more up to the sole discretion of the fans, but it's also really cool to see some of the VTubers decked out in the character costumes. That campaign is going to be going on for a little bit. I think this is the second time they've done this campaign with a variety of different VTubers. I hope we get that ad a little bit later on, which I'm pretty sure we will. But again, Japan has been doing it big for a lot of the fan base out there. This game feels like you're playing like a high-end sport. Like, it feels like playing basketball to a certain degree, right? Like, Street Fighter is so highly celebrated on such like a casual basis too, that it's like, it truly is astounding to see that amount of support, because that's something I never in my lifetime of living and playing video games would I ever think that people would support a video game like this to that capacity, right?
100%. From the barber shops, from the laundromats of playing it casually, mashing buttons with the quarters and things like that, to here and the now on a big stage. It's super great. I think it's well deserved. Obviously, the players deserve it. The fan base deserves it in terms of watching. But now, let's watch this action. Street Fighter League, again, we are back with it. Let's introduce this away team. It's going to be Belc Gaming, who's been on the back foot despite the pedigree. But let's take a look at the team real quick. The Pad Master, DJTS putting down the mix with the Akuma and the Ken if need be. We'll see what comes up, what occurs today. After that, it's over. We have to fight the likes of Ryukichi. This man has some of the best combos in the business, making a combo video out of the people that he fights with his Ken on any interaction. After that, the eyes of desperation and destruction. It is Ryusei. I wonder if he'll go back to the JP. I think the Bison's just fine, but that JP in the pocket after recently being buffed might also help out. But also helps out is the strongest spirit leading the charge. It's Sakonoko, one of the longest reigning players in the business. On the Akuma, on the Chun-Li. Again, this team has to rise to the occasion. Only 10 points to their name. It's only one first to two. You know, a lot more in their tank right now. But spirits are definitely looking high.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about the order they're going to throw out there, because they need as many points as possible. But going into the next team, the home team, incoming, Cyclops Athlete Gaming, Osaka division. I had the full-on luxury of being able to talk to Dogura during Tokyo Game Show and talk about some of the games that are coming up for Street Fighter League. He's got a lot up his sleeve alongside his team. I gotta say this, man, although he's not directly correlated with this team any longer, part of Crazy Raccoon now, he still supports his boys. So with that in mind, let's get the full introduction. We got Uryo, the Eternal Ace, stepping up to the plate for CAG Osaka. Very excited to see him back into the swing of things as well, alongside the Unlimited Dragon Dance, Eita, with the utmost charisma, and also really excited gameplay that we have seen these last couple of days from him, last couple of weeks, I should say. Of course, the theoretical value always comes into play, especially when the opponent has no idea what that value is. It's Fenrich coming in as the third member, and of course, all led by Goichi, defense extraordinaire, the man who could play almost any fighting game and still be the hardest to break down. Goichi is certainly going to be the one leading the pack. I am kind of curious what the order is going to be. Again, I've been able to talk to a lot of these cats that have been in Japan, and they all talk very highly of each other no matter what team they're a part of. And Goichi, this is the first time I've seen him without the shades. Hold up. He was looking a little bit too close to the camera. But with all that in mind, again, I had a chance to talk to Dogura a lot. We had a chance to kind of like talk about a lot of the teams that he was a part of, a lot of the teams that he thinks is going to make it into the playoffs. He still speaks so highly of the CAG team. But looking at this too, going into the Belc Favu Gaming, we have Ryukichi Ken, Sakonoko Akuma, and TS on the anchor spot with no... Wow, that was actually going to be no Ryusei inbound, no JP with how good he is now. Again.
Yeah, strange that now you can anti with the character a lot better. His corner pressure got a lot better too as well. I feel like the character is a lot more solidified. We've seen also a lot of people go back to JP and practice him in the CFN streets. Kakaru, Nemo, all of them train with the character, seeing if he's up to stuff, and I think he is. But TS in the anchor position, considering the last time we saw him in anchor position really didn't work out too well. That's a lot of stress to put on him again. You know, he's new to the team. He's new to Street Fighter League. He's new to like the whole team aspect. He's not a new player in totality. But it's strange to see him go up again. See what they send up. Goichi goes up first. The defense extraordinaire. The man that can block like a pack of Legos. Let's see what he does out here. Chun-Li versus Ken. Yeah, I don't mind this matchup too bad. You know, I feel like a lot of Ken players don't like this matchup still because like her neutral is still so good. Even if she's gotten nerfs in terms of like the damage scaling off like her pickup back heavy kick and stuff like that. Her neutral off the stand pierce, her swift thrust buttons, they're just going to outrange Ken more consistently. He's got to spend OD fireball to deal with her fireballs. We'll have to go for like the innate perfect parry to deal with that fireball walk-in pressure that she presents. So I do like this pick here from Goichi. Let's see what he does against the likes of Ryukichi.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Considering the kind of normals and range that Chun-Li usually likes to dominate at, I think there's like a lot of mid-range game that she can control. It won't necessarily lead to like big hits unless it's something like a low-medium kick, right? I think the biggest thing that Ken has in this matchup is the ability to counter-poke pretty consistently, right? Crouching medium punch is such a great game changer, and also having low-medium kick to outrange Chun-Li if need be in that exact same department is very important too. I also like the fact that he gets a lot of a lot of like light normals to kind of like pepper in just in case to cancel behind it. Sure, Chun-Li could do the same exact thing, but I feel like Ken is in more of a position to do that because he's the one that's going to be playing the counter poke role in regards to this matchup. Now, in terms of like the fireball game, I love him having the threat of OD fireball every time against anybody that has a fireball, right? A little bit of extra recovery too from the side of Chun-Li being a charged character. I want to see whether or not that actually comes into play if Ryukichi can make a proper read or at least just kind of like force offense with the OD fireball to get Goichi opened up that way. But we'll see. I don't think Goichi's one to kind of like throw for fireballs. He's very keen about that too. I think he really utilizes his walk speed very well and also utilizes the ranges that Chun-Li is familiar with majority of the time.
That's a good point. You know, a lot of Chun-Li players suffer with like throwing out bad fireballs. It's one of those aspects of the game plan that they don't really develop as much as other things. And one bad fireball is, of course, in this matchup, a corner carry position and caught up in the corner where you don't want to be. That's something that Jammers had noted, I think, in like season 1, and it's something that stuck with me whenever I watch Chun-Li players. And you're right, I don't think Goichi really throws out bad fireballs. He's good at throwing out fireballs at the right timings and figuring out like the right spacing, especially now that people are able to go for like perfect parry. They're getting more comfortable with going for the perfect parry, the drive rush right after at certain ranges. So I think that you're definitely right in terms of Goichi being right in terms of throwing out the right sort of fireballs. Now, down to the interview, Ryukichi says, I expected him, we need a win, but I'm relaxed and I'll do my best. Goichi says, I really trained for this game. Doing my best is just what I do. We've seen Goichi do his best throughout a lot of Street Fighter leagues, in tournaments and things like that. Again, that defense is so critical in terms of not just busting out ODDP. It's like the reversal timings of his buttons. It's the spacing that he has in some areas. What he does up in the corner, not panicking a lot compared to other players. It's something he's had no matter what game. We'll see what happens though in this matchup. Ryukichi, if he gets the hit, he lands the mix. We know Ryukichi is a combo master. If you've seen his Twitter, his Twitch, you know that he can dump out a ton of damage and find new combos on the fly. We'll see what happens in this match. First of 2.
Here we go, game 1 between Belc Favu Gaming, CAG, OSAKA. We talked about that earlier. The OD fireball ringing out immediately from Ryukichi, catching Goichi with a bad fireball. It's as if the commentator's curse was directly implemented. Holy, the big uppercut to release himself from the grips of Ryukichi thus far. The low medium kick actually finding the mark. An early burnout from Goichi, and man, these two are slugging.
They fight. Goichi burnout, drive impact hits the Zanchu. I'll go for the side switch here, of course. DP caught in the corner, lands level 1 to his name. And there it is. Waits a little bit, stares at his spray, finds a stand fierce. Probably deciding on what he's going to do. Maybe a DP, maybe a stand fierce. Chose a ladder. Ryukichi with the first victory.
And again, catching Goichi on guard. Damn, you're gonna drive rush sweep?
That's how we feel tonight. Whip punish. Outside the distance, but he's in burnout again. Takes the one drive impact and the side switch.
Oh, you are a dirty dog. He delayed the hell out of that Dragon Lash. Goichi getting exposed for the delayed tech. Still on the other side. I love that check from Ryukichi. No matter what, right? I think going for crouching heavy punch into the run cancel is so smart because it doesn't matter what side you land on. That input is only button reliant. You don't have to worry about what direction you're gonna be in, and it gives you plenty of time to get the extra hits into it, get the enough time to actually get that confirmed proper. That was so smooth from Ryukichi. The second time that Goichi's been blown up for that option too. That's not an option that gets blown up commonly.
Yeah, really. And to call that out too as well for someone like Goichi who has good rotation of defense, when he does wake up, like to read that twice, that's Ryukichi really understanding Goichi's tendencies overall and find the proper punish. We talked about how he is so ready off of any situation to find these hits, and something that he's been working on is his neutral to get to that point. We saw OD Fireball to initiate against the Fireball ranges. We saw him properly punish things that he needs to, finds the crouch kicks that he needs to, especially when Goichi puts himself in burnout. Now, that's going to be a grazing kind of thing for Goichi, but he's got to stay out of burnout more often than not. I feel like that's going to put him on the back foot. I'd like him to save some of that OD gauge for OD Fireball just in case. I'd like him to save that bar for like the pickups to level 2 right after, have that drive rush follow-ups up in the corner. I like him to save that for like the mix-ups, the overheads and things like that. Burnout early, I think she can survive, but Ryukichi's taking advantage of that more often than not, it feels.
Yeah. I will say I kind of respect the decision to go into burnout. Granted, I think, you know, Goichi was on an offensive run and he wanted to kind of escape the corner as much as possible and to force Ryukichi in a situation where he has his back to the wall while also gaining some of his drive gauge. So I kind of get the idea behind that, but going for the Hazanchu, a little bit overzealous, right? That's something that I feel like Goichi is not usually doing. As soon as he gets enough real estate and understands the situation, I feel like he's more so taken aback and playing a little bit passive to recover that gauge. But seeing him kind of go all out in that fashion was very, it's much an uncommon nuance to me. Watching Goichi kind of overextend like that. It's a very uncommon situation to see him ever overextend. But I gotta say, I think the fact that Ryukichi was ready for it, to see that type of offense from Goichi and still have an answer for it, lets me know that he's no longer playing at like a nervous level. Like most of the time, he's kind of worried. When we see him over at like EAWC, we've seen him in the first couple of weeks. Like we talked about his interviews being really nervous, but I think once he gets acclimated to the situation enough, he'll be able to breeze by a lot of the high-end players that we've seen. Again, this kid has been a phenomenal player right out the gate. But Goichi, again, there's still time for him to make those adaptations. He's still going to be sticking it out with Chun-Li as well.
I think it's fine. You know, the Akuma matchup, maybe not so solidified. He's been playing Chun-Li for months upon months, especially when the game came out. Roll, round start sweep. Don't let Ryukichi get in his bag. I'm telling you, this man is able to swing like that. He's way too confident and comfortable, as you mentioned. He's spinning bird kick, legs right after it. It's Yoki. Just waits for a little bit, though. There we go. Back to the defensive tactics and spacing that we know Goichi for.
Really tough to contend right now. Goichi is stuck in this corner. We talked about the low medium kicks being a little bit of a threat, but Ryukichi 100% ready for it. As you saw that sweep from further out, the burnout was a success. A very lucky back throw from the side of Goichi. You saw Ryukichi actually go and tempt with the drive impact. Goichi 100% ready for it. Actually, I gotta say that was rather lucky. I will stick by that.
Goichi able to weather the storm of being in burnout. OD Fireball. Ryukichi able to choose when he's able to drive rush right after with the OD Fireball, especially because he has so much gauge to work with. Has the lead too as well. Hazanchu cuts through. Then bird kick, overhead lands. That's what we want to see that drive gauge for. Blessings from above, and still have more on the take if need be. Goichi taking it back from the brink.
You can see already the attempt to counter some of the Jim right kicks is Goichi. He flashed that parry a little bit early on, does get the big exposure down below. He gets the fierce in the air, safe jump setup as well. That could have been a big whiff punish for the side of Ryukichi. The sweep just raw!
Sweep Tartar. Let's toss it up in the corner. Looking for an opening. Stand fierce, drive reversal. OD Fireball jumps away, avoids the OD Fireball and possibly a drive rush stand fierce. Nice and close for this light kick. Jin right after it. Burnout now.
Look at the amount of pressure and the amount of chip damage that Goichi has taken thus far. And just at the end of the spear, the low medium kick does deliver into the level 1. The full sequencing Ryukichi is on fire when it comes to harassing Goichi in the corner. Insane amount of pressure. Decision making overall to go into light sequences and then back into the Jinrai to get some of the chip. This is looking disgusting. Adaptively through the fireball, through the flames. Goichi, level 2. Let's see this corner carry. Let's see what leads into it. Fireball to let him sit and stew a little bit.
Kill some of the drop gauge too as well. I like that decision here. This time a punish counter. Try to get the cross up Tatsu. Punish is there with the swift thrust. Perfect parry on the fireball. We talked about that innate defense in this game, using the perfect parry with that close range fireball. Standing on 10 toes, trying to walk this man down. Interruption with the light, gets a counter combo. Throw right after.
Does get the tech throw. Goichi not going to overextend this time, checking with the low forwards again. Ryukichi slowly starting to encroach on some of the spacing that Goichi wants to occupy. Low medium kick confirmed into the fireball. Sorry, into the Shoryuken. Back throw now, Goichi. How does he get out of this corner? He just walks it out. No DJ Unk. Ryukichi actually has a level 3 on deck too, which makes him that much harder to contend against. Nice sequencing from Goichi too, just drive rushing forward, getting the medium punch into the light sequencing, and I do like him kind of going for those lights just in case as well. Looked a little bit shaky on the continuation of that.
Throwing bows. Also, having the level 2 just on deck lets you know you can't throw the fireball again. He's already seen what happened. Ryukichi, that game plan, not able to throw the OD fireball or even the normal fireball as well. Put him on the back foot for a little bit. He's like, what do I do now in the neutral? Stand fierce, cancel. All right, take back his turn. Luckily, did not get whip punched. At some of the spacings, it's hard to take back your turn after the stand fierce. Drive rush, pick up, flip the stomps to the medium heavy, double dash up for the throw. He text though.
Oh. Oh. I love the fact that we get the Pow Pow Cafe in rotation now. It's so sick.
Hope we get the character too, man. I'm trying to see some Terry. We'll see.
True. Yeah, this is the only time where Ryukichi really gets to take advantage of the fireball game, just because of the sole fact that Goichi does not have level 2. He's not going to be close enough to react with the Hazanshu. And just like that, Ryukichi bulldogging Goichi into the corner. Despite having the life deficit, still successfully getting Goichi into the corner to limit his movement is such a W.
Goichi unafraid with a DP. Tencho lets it rip. Ryukichi makes something of this. Perfect parry. Both looking for that crouch kick or stand light kick range. Try first right after. Jinrai DP ender. Frame come for the throw right after. Another throw. Sama button, yeah, stand fierce, but Goichi blocks it out. Gonna take another throw if need be. Don't get opened up, the anti-air is there. Eats a fireball, runs right in it.
Yeah, Goichi's putting up quite the wall, man. He's playing at such a slow pace, too. Ryukichi, you started to see him kind of like accelerate a little bit because of the fact that it was like, what, less than, maybe around like 8 seconds left, I think, on the timer. Last we saw it. Goichi putting up an impressive wall, and also the reads on defense. I don't know what that was, but he definitely missed the punish counter.
Better. It's looking pretty bad here for Ryukichi. A lot of bust outs, a lot of more stuff happening. Goes for the level 3 immediately. Get that bar back. Goichi in the deficit. In terms of drive gauge, out of health, Goichi still has the lead. He still can't throw it a bad fireball.
Oh, still completely in check. Oh. Excellent conversion too. That hitting such an awkward timing. Ryukichi still manages to get the light continuation afterwards. That was sick.
Walks right into the crouching mini kick overhead. I don't know if that was supposed to be in the head, Satsu. Kick, Jinrai light kick, runs the legs raw. That is enough to kill Goichi, presenting so much annoyance with defense that it actually made, I feel like, Ryukichi's offense just not stable enough. All that confidence kind of drained away. It's like, how do I get in? And even as the game went on, even though there were some drops from Goichi, it felt like, dang, bro, once I get in, I'm shaky. I'm back to that nervousness. I'm trying to make something happen. Even though Goichi is like, oh, I don't know what I did with those legs, it still worked out. But hey, that's the sign of a champion right there. Even if you win, you're like, I gotta clean it up next time. W still on the side of Goichi. CAG takes the first to 2.
Yeah, I think no matter what, like, he had meter to back it up after the legs, and also Ryukichi being in burnout, that does change up the frame data, right? So he's still going to be plus no matter what. I think him going for the roundhouse legs makes a lot of sense, chip or not, right? I think he's going to still be able to pursue into like a normal, into like a super, whatever he wanted to towards the end of it. So I do like that idea. Just in that timing, that actually threw me off so much. So him being able to weave through the offense that Ryukichi was presenting, that was actually pretty brave. So I like that from Goichi, right? Being able to throw out some of those risks, because if it pays off, you end up getting the game or like the full offensive sequence afterwards. I do appreciate that. This sequence right here, right? Goichi throwing it out. As soon as he gets barred too, he would have been just fine. Ryukichi being in burnout with the legs active like that, there's no way he would have been able to like punish. But that could have easily gone into like a super, and I'm pretty sure with the amount of life that Ryukichi had left, he would have died regardless. So good on Goichi. I think him persevering after that first time out, after that first game against Ryukichi really paid off. That's actually super impressive to see him come back from a decimation that was the first game. I will say, I think that was pretty much all Ryukichi out the gate, but very great recovery from the leader.
That would have been a big fan favorite for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. If it's not just the Jamie, it's the way he's been able to play out here at Street Fighter League. And it is going to be the Jamie coming up on the deck. So again, another matchup that I feel like people just, you got to go to Naru. If he's not playing Terry, you got to hope and pray that you can go to EU and hit up Bolt Strike and say, hey, man, I'm trying to run some sets. Or beg Zaffarino to run the Jamie matchup, because otherwise it's going to be hard to find someone who really understands the character at high level, knows when to run those drinks. And all the Jamie players are so different in terms of what they do on defense, what they do on offense, when they go for the drinks. And so even then you find a player, you have to find how individually they play overall. So there's a lot of study that comes with this character. Even though he's on the lower tier side of things, as every character is in Street Fighter 6, they're all very dangerous. We've seen it happen in Street Fighter League where he has killed some of the Akumas. Oreo, last time that we saw him was against Bonchan. Cooked up that Akuma. Will Sako be next?
We are getting the interview coming in from Sakonoko. I'm loving the way that he's been kind of like practicing lately. But I'm more so impressed that Uryo is still keeping it real with Jamie. I gotta say, man, that character, a lot of investment needs to go into that character. He does need a little bit of work, but he's definitely got some big rewards off of it. If somebody could really navigate and pilot this character to the way that he's meant to be played, I'm ready to watch it. Because again, this character, I feel like there's just so many different nuances and so many barriers that allow him, or kind of, I want to say like that disallow him from really contending against some of like the meta characters right now. And it's all around like one of his main mechanics. But as it stands right now, I think there's a lot to really consider going forward with some of the changes perhaps that Jamie might receive, because who knows? We don't know how often we're going to get some of these balance patches with some of these characters as well. But to be honest with you, again, Jamie is in such a weird spot, because I don't think a lot of the current player base is willing to invest the time into the character just yet.
It's kind of makes sense, like if you're like a competitor, well, I go for a character that I know will give me reward immediately, or more immediate than Jamie. I'll go for a character that won't give me as much reward, possibly later on, but I might have to fight like the player to player. I think the player to player aspect is kind of difficult. It's like with Lily. Like, when do I stock up? A little bit easier for her to understand when to stock up. We see Hibiki able to ideate a little bit quicker than a normal Jamie player. And Jamie does have a lot more moments where he can stock up, but it's still a difficult thing. It's like, when can I go for stock ups? When should I go in for Oki? Some players will go for like 2 drinks if they're a Jamie player. Some will go for 3 or 4. Some will go for none at all. I've seen some players just say, I'm gonna stick it out with normal Jamie, which is kind of wild to me. But Uryo has been making success happen with this character. The Jamie Discord, I'm sure, is pumped up to see him cook. We'll see if we can cook up Sako. He's already been so good against the Akumas. We'll see if we can add another one to his nameplate.
We did a little bit of that interview again. Sako on that low pace right now, but he's looking to change that today. Uryo, on the other hand, he's just happy to play against someone like Sakonoko in Street Fighter 6 as well. Uryo has been around the block for a very long time, going back and forth making a name for himself as a legend as well. Man, he is being absolutely brutal. Sakonoko returning in kind with the OD uppercut.
Nice spin. Plays for a little bit, gets a grip right after. The walk-up throw, confidence from Oreo, whether it be the reversals, the pressure up in the corner. First round to him. First Sampier starts off the party. Gets it with a DP. We go for a swig? Yes, sir. Sip that sauce.
God, that's so sick looking. Jesus, what a confirm. Udio up 3 drinks now.
It's a punish.
Oh, that should be dead.
On the recovery, the dive kick. Oh my God, more than dead. Beyond. Urio, first game, perfect. Drive rush, yeah, the follow-up to finish.
Absolutely insane sequencing coming in from Udio. And I gotta say, man, this color choice is quite appealing. I really appreciate the Jamie players, whether I run into them in ranked or not. I love the ones that pick this exact outfit.
I just appreciate Jamie players. This character is so cool to see, especially at high level and against characters that have maybe dominated the meta for a little bit. Seeing them work around that and catch players either off guard or be able to find their own ways to cook with the driver stay fierce confirms and things like that we've seen. Just the ideation gets the players as well.
You hear the tap parry. Sakonoko managing to get the back throw, a big punish against Udio. Still continuing the sequence. I love that because it is a frame trap within itself. If you delay it and have the proper reads.
Okay, more fireball play from Sadasako though. I like this. Close range as well. Hard for him just to drive rush, stand fierce, or hit out those stand medium kicks and crouching medium kicks so consistently. Counter hit, sweep, going for the throat. No, we delay. Actually walk back a little bit. Real hot pursuit.
Big interruption on the walk forward. Udio does get clipped. Sakonoko now with the proper punish too.
Okay, lean into the super for toe tab. This one for free. This dive kicks coming through, and the Buckeye spin against the fireballs. If he makes the proper read.
Oh, that was such an awkward angle that hit so far behind Akuma, and it still was a counter hit in benefit of Udio. No way! This guy is so sick. Udio with the pickup. Looking at match point already. And a little sneaky dash too. Yeah, he didn't have the target combo ready. He didn't have level 1 drink, so I don't know what he was trying to end with that. Maybe a standing light kick into the arrowhead. But either way, still manages to recover and get a drink. The dive kick coming in through. Sakonoko on the defensive end. Udio's gonna back off just a little bit before the palm comes out.
Space trap, stand medium kick in level 3. Ball juice up for the green. I'll see if he goes just right for the damage. So mix-up opportunity possibly. Drive rush, crouch fierce, palm, sweep, swig. 2 on the menu. Can you get 3 for a command grab? You don't even need it, to be honest. The pressure's just too much. Wake up, crouch, immediate kick, gets a swig again. 3, jump fierce, will claim his soul. Still had more MVP. Urio with the Jamie. That's 2 games. The Akuma killer with the quote-unquote low-tier hero out here is cooking up a storm.
I gotta say, he's been pretty impressive, man. Udio has been like having his stock climb up little by little. A lot of players are now starting to really put him on the map because of this pick that's just such an anomaly, right? You don't ever get to really see Jamie players show off as much, right? We only see it via maybe like on Twitter, on social media, right? We only see it from the likes of like Bolt Strike, maybe Hotson FGC when it comes to something like Scientific or something like that. But yeah, and then you also mentioned like Naruto as well. But I feel like right now in the league, Udio is the one to do it, man. He's having all the right reads and also the big pickups against someone like Sakonoko and against a character like Akuma. This is looking real solid, man. I love seeing the development of Jamie in the hands of someone like Udio.
toolkit utilized too as well to get the tools. He's been able to get the sips of the sauce continuously, but also be able to find the dive kicks to disallow like that crouching kick as we saw previously. And then that makes you a little bit more pensive to stick out those long-reaching buttons that Akuma loves to hit. Forward fierce, stand fierce. Those might get clipped and hit with the dive kick, and you're like, damn, what do I do then? 20 points in total for CIG. OSAKA, bro, I don't want to say it, but FAV Gaming is getting farmed. They gotta pick it up right now. It's do or die time to at least go to a tie scenario. And even then, they need more points than that. TS in the anchor position it's just so dicey because either he rises to the occasion or he flounders. Like this is a very scary thing to put a new player in the team weighing upon your back again. We've already seen him falter previously. And it's gonna be bro. You're going up against Fenrich. I hate to say it, but Fenrich has been, bro. He is with the aggression that we see from him.
This is kind of tough. Now we've seen TS kind of flexercise double picks between Goki and Ken, but I think as it stands right now, he hasn't really found a lot of success with either character, at least the success that he's looking for within his teammates too. Looking at his overall record, yeah, he hasn't found the right set of wins. He hasn't really found the right momentum to face off against the rest of the crew, at least from what it looks like. He faced off against the Shar not too long ago in round 4. He, I want to say he faced off against one of the Vanguard players. I guess it was Jazzy. Yeah, he lost to him as well. And then he also has to face off against Kazunoko. That's rough, man. I think TS has been in like the leader positioning once over, and now like again. That's gotta be like putting a lot of pressure on him. I'm not too sure, right? I haven't really been able to follow TS as closely as I'd like to. One, because I actually haven't found his Twitch, but secondly, it's been really difficult, I feel like, just to see him go through the runnings of like legendary players that we've seen thus far in Street Fighter League a bunch. Not to take a credit away from him, I'm sure he's here for a reason, but as it stands right now, he has to go above beyond the Call of Duty right now. He has to really show up.
When Street Fighter League was happening last year, he was a big training partner for like the anti-Ken strategies and things like that. He was out there helping people practice for Ken. We saw him work at Fave Cup. He's a strong competitor, but it's just the way the Street Fighter League is so much more different than your typical tournament. You have people relying upon you. You have a weekly sort of stress happening all the time. So you're ranked, your match is over. Even in CPT, it's gonna be a different sort of feeling. And I don't know if TS is acclimated to that properly. He's got the mix. When he gets the hits, it's dangerous. But those don't happen too often. That neutral that he usually has when I watch him play in CFN, when I watch him play on his stream, when I watch him play in tournament and things like that, and the smaller tournaments and stuff, it's not the same. It's like a lack of confidence that he doesn't have. And you're fighting against someone like Fenrich, who will blow you up for every instance and will play at a pace that it was hard for even someone like Tokido to keep up with. I think on paper, I think Akuma, can do great against Blanca. You know, I hear Blanca players complain about that a little bit. The few that we have left, at least. I don't know if it's the same in this season, but I know it was like that last season. But it just on paper don't always happen in a match. Like Fenrich will turn it on its head. TS says, I just want to win. I was given advice from Mago today, so let me show my strength. You had mentioned that these players have been talking to each other. They're still friends outside of League, even though if they're on different teams or on different areas of the division and things like that. They're still conversing before they go combating and things like that. So it's cool to see them get that information. But is it enough though for TS?
We're gonna find out, man. I think there's gonna be a moment of clarity. I feel like for this team, again, this is only the halfway point. This is where we get to get the runbacks afterwards. I do have a lot of hope for this team. I really do. I think there's just too much potential for it to like not really pull through. But here we go. We'll find out. TS going against Fenrich and the Wild Beast Blanca.
So far, blocks up the overhead. Also throw right after. Not too bad so far. Another throw on the dash up. It's in the corner. Anti-air? No, it's a dive kick instead.
I mean, there was an attempt from Fenrich. Didn't maintain the charge though. He had to force himself to use a normal as an anti-air. Oh, and the reactions! That actually is a very unorthodox thing to throw out there as Fenrich. You don't really see that too often. TS with the appropriate finish, I like that. Finding level 1. It was a little bit too dicey to go in just for like an uppercut to finish. So I respect that a lot.
Overhead, his is working out. Had my fist for a medium kick, back heavy kick, and the fireball. DP, I don't know if he could have got a DP right there. Perfect parry on the dash up button, gets a side switch. Lightning Beast, level 2. See what's coming through. He needs to find a knockdown for that little mini-me to be thrown out.
Oh, I like that. A whole different look right now from TS. I'm really loving the pacing, but man, immediately as I say that, the classic commentator's curse. What's the little fella gonna do? On the way through, no block swing into lightning. That's gonna be great for TS. We were waiting for too soon. It was just a matter of time, that win condition going into the OD electricity. That's exactly what Fenrich was looking for to set a chance out for the overhead. Nicely done.
The game on the other corner, even before 10 seconds to start. Pops on out of there for a medium kick. Too far for a possible sweep. Die kick. I like that approach because back medium kick, as you see, has been blown up continuously. Might make him second guess his anti-air. Hard knockdown, the drive rush throw, calls it the tap parry. Too much for Fenrich. He went for the medium and a button right after, taking his turn. Okay, TS, put this man to rest. The crouch fierce had level 3 if need be, and I like this confidence from TS. Taking turns when he wants. Good defense overall, keeps the lead in his health, and calls out the defensive decisions of Fenrich. On wake up, first game to him. We'll see what happens though.
This is the type of gameplay I want to see. This is the type of style that I wanted to see come out from TS, being able to contain the beast, someone like Fenrich who can get kind of wild. And also in the moments where TS was on the defensive end, he didn't do anything irrational. He kept it nice and tight too, making sure to test with a lot of longer range normals to face off against Fenrich, right? He used a lot of forward medium kicks. He also peppered in some of the lights. I love him kind of like testing the gauges and testing the ranges just like that as well. It shows me that he's really ready to play a longer game, or like a, I want to say a slower game in comparison to most Akumas out there too. So I'm loving this pacing right now from TS, and I want to see it continue. Fenrich, however, he's already going to have something devious planned. He's already conversing with his teammates. When it comes to like his repertoire in other fighters, right, specifically DFZ, right, I think he understands what needs to be done in regards to like opening somebody up that's playing in a certain play style. So I think that type of exposure is going to be a lot more of a benefit right now for someone like TS. TS, again, I'm a little ignorant, right? I'm going to say I don't necessarily know the entire background story of TS, but right now Fenrich is looking like the man in regards to this matchup on paper, right? But TS, he's showing otherwise, and I really like that fight in him right now.
This confidence we want to see from TS in general. This is the way we want to see him play. It's akin to like when you want to have that same sort of confidence like when you're playing in ranked or like, you know, in tournament, whatever, for this team tournament. You know, I know people are kind of weighing on you, but maybe you have the benefit of people saying, hey man, you can do this, you can win, like you can take this to the limit, you know, like play the way you usually play. Don't overextend if you don't need to. And I like that TS starts off very slow and then ramps up when he puts it up in the corner, as Akuma should. Akuma has some of the best corner pressure up in the game. You have forward fierce, stand fierce, fast fireballs, great buttons as well with the medium kick. Not good just in neutral in the mid screen, but also in the corner. Like, in the damage that can output is incredible. So someone like TS knows what it takes when he has the buttons and the things applied. Just has to get there, but the confidence has to be there. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that he's been able to survive. Even that level 2 had hit and that horrible decision that had a little mini-me, lock you down, get the overhead, the follow-up right after, go block a channel land. That would have tilted a lot of people, but someone like TS is like, all right, cool, that's fine, it's just one round. We still got third one to go, and I still got bar at the bottom to utilize. We'll see what the adjustments are from Fenrich. I'm assuming maybe more heavy kick against that. I don't know if that works out or if he'll just maybe go for like perfect parry. It is hard because the variance of what comes through with the demon flips is difficult to deal with. It's either guillotine, dive kick, might go for an empty low, you know? There's a lot of things that you can do.
Yeah, pretty difficult to manage all in one, right? Against someone like Fenrich, or against someone like TS. But again, I think Blanca is well suited for a lot of those types of options, especially with him being able to charge up his Blanca ball. But it really is up to TS to kind of recognize those situations as to whether or not Fenrich is getting those charges in. So we'll see how that plays out. Fenrich now on the offensive assault. We talked about that earlier. What happens when he figures out a way to break TS's neutral?
Sweep. That was a really good decision right there. The dive kick again, he has been at the perfect range. It feels like not even looking for the back medium kick, it's just looking for the proper at the foot distance plus or just on hit. One more touch, it's a punish. The heavy kick had more right after. TS is just assaulting from the skies continuously.
OD uppercut with the bust out. TS is showing absolutely zero remorse thus far against Fenrich. That punish counter ever so important as Fenrich does get the burnout. The overhead does get blocked. A big counter hit as TS tried to press a button during a moment where he wasn't really allowed to press anything. Fenrich on the offensive again. We'll see if a drive impact really comes out. Trying to check the demon flip dive kick. I like the attempt. Oh, one too many lights. The lightning beast comes out. You might be able to chip him out. No, not before the drive gauge comes back. I like the OD fireball as the bust out too. Now facing burnout of his own. You have got to be kidding me. TS finding all of the open spots, all of the open hits against Fenrich to land this raging demon.
No shot. TS coming back to the brink. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry I prophesized your demise. Excuse me, TS. Pardon me. And your team, he is on game point right now, looking super confident, looking super sick with it. That demon was godlike. Can keep it up though. Woody DP. Let's it rip.
Man, making all the right calls too, TS. Completely taking advantage of Fenrich's decision-making thus far on defense, and man, he's so ready for the jump in against him. I like that, forcing the level 1 out of him. But, you know, luckily enough, it doesn't really push Blanca too far out of the corner after that level 1 hits. TS still on the offensive, multiple overheads. And again, Fenrich, he's being forced to block so much. OD fireball, he's trying to seal it.
More touch. Drive impact if he wants it. Has to go for the OD to burn him out. Gonna catch the walk back with a crouching medium punch. Dive kick hits nothing.
Oh
jump
no!
In, burn out again. That's gonna be the win.
That was a little bit of a throw from Fenrich. I don't know. He had no business going for that second parry.
Really needy for that defensive option. Now he's cut up in the corner. Interrupts the overhead. Oh, but punch counter gets a throw. Side switch. Off the demon flip. Slight walk back to avoid the TKOD Blanca ball. DP sip this calamity. TS is so godlike in reading the weight decisions of Fenrich. Going to be tap parry. Now that TKOD Blanca ball. One more hit. One more touch. A stand-like kick right after to finish it off. TS, 3 games straight to put him to the first to 1K, first to death match. But this is big. FAV Gaming showing a lot of signs of life, and from someone that I don't think many people expected to do.
I'd like to apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game. TS! 3 games straight in convincing fashion. By the way, that was 2 rounds towards the end of it against Fenrich. I don't even know how many rounds Fenrich actually got throughout the entirety of that battle. But TS looking as strong as we were hoping he would be. This is him stepping up to the plate, and man, the potential skyrocketing right now. TS stock going up and up. I'm loving seeing the big changes. I'm loving the adaptations against Fenrich's activity on defense. Just his overall reactions to. He's looking so great, right? This is a big rebuttal in comparison to how he's been playing thus far in the season.
Sequence right here, the demon was super sick. But again, I agree. I like the way he's playing. He's really recognizing what the other person is doing as well, and being able to have the proper punishes in kind. I guess that TKOD Blanca ball, that was a very sick option right there, the aerial edition. And then after he got this super, he went for the overhead and stand-like kick. Beautiful space trap. I don't know what he pressed. I don't know what Fenrich pressed. I guess we'll see here in a second. Was that medium? I'm not sure. But either way, space trap worked out for the stand-like kick. 20-20 right now. I say you send up TS, obviously, for Belc Gaming. Who else can you set up at this point? But for CHE OSAKA, Urio, I feel like, would be my choice. What about you?
It makes a lot of sense, right? You send up somebody that had already taken down one Akuma. I think despite how well Goichi did with his adaptation and facing off against one of the Shotos, Ryukichi, I think sending Urio just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, sorry, TS is going to be going up again for the anchor spot, for the tiebreaker spot, excuse me, which makes a lot of sense because he's playing on fire. I think he's playing the best out of everybody right now. Yeah, it would be pretty wise to send up Udio, right?
So keep up pace, not only like the Akuma matchup, but just as like a player. It's so hard to read on defense, so aggressive. I think that works out even well in the first one. Yes, we are getting Urio. Definitely, I think the best you could hope for, I think, for CHE Osaka, Urio equipping his weapon of choice right there and going to work. This first one again, only one game remains. We'll see who gets to 25 points totality between these two teams, but overall this is good for FFV Gaming. They of course need a lot more, but this is a very good start into the second half of the season. But they would like to finish with the lion's share, that extra 5 right there. And I think again, TS being on fire, how he's been proving himself, it's got to be good morale just overall for the team. I think this is a good sign. It's like, okay, we have to step up. If TS is stepping up in the anchor position, he is new, and we're veterans, we got to get in. We got to step up and showcase what we can do. But into this match, though, you've got TS who's playing on fire and kind of starts off a little bit slower and then gets aggressive when he finds his moments. Against somebody who is just aggressive outside the gate, Urio, who has been also been doing really good against a lot of Akuma players. Will he be in form against the likes of TS, though?
I feel like it has to be the other way around, right? I think Akuma is so commonly used and exploited. I feel like in ranked, a lot of the players in Street Fighter League is using this character, which makes a lot of sense. I think that question is more so posed towards TS, whether or not he has the experience against enough Jamie players, right? So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, we've talked a little bit against towards TS, and it's got to be a sign, right? The fact that Sakunoko continuously puts TS, this is the second time over, by the way. This is the second time we've seen TS in the anchor spot thus far in the season. That has to show me that he has a lot of faith towards TS and the way that he's been practicing thus far. So I am kind of curious to see if he's going to step it up again against Udio's Jamie in the first-to-one lockdown. We'll see how that plays out. Again, Udio with a lot more of a winning record against some of the Akumas out here, but finding a win record against Jamie, you're only going to be doing it against someone like Udio. That's all you get.
Especially out in the league, you know, not many people playing the character. I hope this is a sign that more people will start going to Jamie a little bit more often. I feel like understanding like what it takes for the character, actually having somebody out in the league doing work with them and having experience and say, okay, if this guy can do it, I can do it too. Especially in these matchups where you might think that Akuma would have the advantage. I still think that Akuma probably still has the advantage, but the way that Urio plays is just so hard to lock down overall as a player, and even the matchup too as well. It's hard to know when he's going to go for the max amount of drinks, or at least 3 drinks, or even 2 drinks. Hard to know when he's going to go for the Oki instead. Drive rush, stand fierce. You see a lot of counter hits and people just not being able to predict what he's going to do next. And he's so good about dealing with the fireball. You see perfect parries, normal parries, even close range against the fireball. He's not getting opened up too often. And when he does start getting hit, you back off and be like, okay, if I get to level 2 and level 3 and things like that, I can present the dive kick so you can't put out a button right after. You can't go for like a stand fierce or a heavy punch. We'll see if that occurs in this matchup. First to one, aka first to death for 5 points. Who's going to take the lion's share today? CHE Osaka, Belc Fave Gaming. Final match before they hit the run back later on this year.
Got the perfect parry. Already off to an aggressive start. Gets the uppercut, gets the first drink. Udio now even more so a threat. He tried to get antsy in a 1-to-1. I appreciate and respect that. TS, however, making him pay severely with the drive gauge and also the positioning thus far. Man, that was actually such a wild jump that it worked out. Udio now on drink level 2. Changing the arc. TS now attempting the big whip anti-air from Udio, and he's going to be making him pay dearly off of this.
He owed the parry. Knew it was coming through. Maximum drive gauge build up right there, crouch fears. Heavy kick Tatsu in burnout, but definitely not out of options. He still has a level 2 to bust out if need be on the back foot. So one more touch scenario. Walk up throw. Tiny Urio make it back. Interrupts the overhead with the jabs. Set point TS.
Drive rushing on in there. Udio pretty aggressive on the start. At least taking a little bit of time, I should say, before he drive rushed forward. Nailing himself the first drink. Not going to be quite the threat from this range with Buck High, but I think maybe the dive kick could prove to be a worthy tool against the fireball game. Drink number 2 incoming.
Nice spin, double dashes in for the throw. Medium Trying to delay a little bit, but that just allows TS to drive rush, get a back throw. The air-to-air gets an ODDP for the victory. Final game, final round. Oreo said he was very confident in the best of one. He'll win against anybody. Let's see if that prophecy comes to fruition.
Level 3 on both ends. We're looking for a very explosive start, perhaps. The big reaction from Uryo. You would think he was on Modern, but it's level 3 coming in. There's going to be a huge corner carry. It's actually not going to be too severe because he doesn't have the first drink, but we'll see the damage still on board. Gets the first drink now. About half-life is TS, but this is his time to strike. The drive gauge looking pretty low from the side of TS, so you could bet that his next drive cancel forward will be a combo that leads into the level 3. Oh, you tried to move on in raw with the drive rush, Uryo. Ready for it. Sip of calamity. Ooh. You're taking chicks in front of me? Why not down one of my own?
Trying this on for size. Welcome St. Pierce. No, it's medium. I like that target combo into fireball. Drive impact. Trying to clip a butt, but the jump in is there. Swig. Drive reversal. Deletes the overhead off the table. Drive rush DP. Drive rush fake out. Looking for the reversal to level 1. With the crouch,
he has a punish.
Wasn't able to hit anything. That's a wrong one.
There was a punish available, and he wasn't ready for it. The fact that Uryo thought he had the overhead into the rest of the target combo, that was actually so unfortunate. That was TS's game to win, and he went for the wrong whiff punish because he was too far out. Unfortunate circumstance. COG OSAKA narrowly clutching it out, securing themselves 135 points into first place positioning. But still, FAV Gaming, yo, shout outs to them still getting 20 points. Not bad at all. Uryo, he was just that guy today, man. Very, very lucky, very, very fortunate. We'll admit.
First to one, everyone's scrambling in the back like they on the Titanic. But it is Uryo staying dry, staying solid in that best of one. But again, as mentioned, FAV Gaming, I feel like if TS is doing a work like this, I feel like this is only a better sign for the team. Because now it's like, okay, he has the secret sauce. This newbie has a secret sauce on how to deal with this stuff. Us veterans gotta keep up pace. I mean, 20 points, you'd rather leave with that than nothing. I mean, this is looking like to be a 40 bomber. If, Finrich had put them up as we thought, as many people probably thought going into this, that could have been another 40 bomber that CHE would have walked away with, and then Belc not having points to their name. So they'll take some points to their name and possibly more energy this next match put in hand. Uryo, best of one. He said, I'll win to anybody, any situation. He lives for the scramble. He loves scramble. Only orders his eggs scramble. Now, get the winner interviews real soon here. Eita, just really happy we won. I was going to go in for today, but I have a fever just now, so I don't know if he's joking, if he's like, oh, a little sick today, or if he actually is sick. But if he is, I hope he does feel better. But he said the teammates needed to play for me, so they stepped in, and they did a lot of work out there. Obviously, Finrich the only one that was really lacking. The other ones did their work, though. Goichi, especially, I feel like, with that defense, and Uryo as well, were able to kind of pick up that slack.
We are getting the winner interview coming in too. The rest of the team coming in. Yeah, I love seeing Goichi in a good mood, right? I feel like he's such an emotional player, emotionally charged player with the amount of work he puts in like a multitude of different fighting games, also into his streams too. A lot of hard work that goes into it. I feel like he deserves a little bit more of the praise and the flowers in the FGC because that man is legendary status, right? He's gotten EVO titles under his belt for a multitude of different fighting games. Actually, no, mainly one, but he still plays different fighting games, right? So it's cool to see that Goichi leading the pack and making the right decisions overall, right? I think like it is a lot of pressure to be like a captain while also trying to play like you're trying to set by example. I think that's like a ton of pressure, but I think Goichi holds it well. Sure, there are moments where he gets like really emotional and kind of like breaks down in tears or whatever, but I think it's just like you could see how much hard work he puts into it. And the same really kind of goes in for the rest of the team, right? The Goichi, he's talking about the team efforts. We really give advice to each other, and that let me relax. Really lucky in regards to the extra game and decision making. Listen, man, taking that W, luck and preparation really goes into it. So the fact that Uryo stepped up to the plate once you summoned him and he was still ready. Granted, it was very lucky. I will admit that. I'm sure Goichi was talking about that as well. Still, keeping it that close and getting the W that day, Uryo being the better player, that still counts, man. That counts past luck.
In that scramble, it could have been a situation where Uryo kind of waits for a little bit too long and TS kind of repossesses himself and gets a punish on his own or takes advantage of that moment. So, like, even though luck is a big part of what happened in that match, luck is a part of fighting games in general. And being prepared for those moments is a part of skill. So we see that happen from Uryo. I think that's, again, why he is so good in those scrambles in the first to one, and first to two, first to three, whatever it may be. Uryo just prepared and prep player no matter what happens. So Finrich says, I was training for Ryusei, I had to play for Eita. I couldn't do anything today, so you know Finrich is going to be looking back at what to do in that matchup. The dive kick is definitely something I don't see too often in that matchup. I wonder if heavy kick would work out as an anti-air punish, or we saw an air to air at the very end, but even with that being said, like the variance that TS was putting on and the ranges that dive kick was hitting, it'd be hard to call when that's going to actually come through when the anti-air properly. So it's something I'm sure Finrich is going to go to the lab for and improve. Uryo says, I was really scared of playing against Terry today. I was really lucky to have to play against Akuma. So he was like, I was scared of Terry because maybe he didn't have the experience or wasn't properly prepped. I mean, it's a new character. Considering how many times you probably see the character in ranked, at high level, it might be something different. So I don't know how many people are going to be playing Terry out here. You know, it's a very risky thing to pull out the character this late up in the league, but if that's your character, we'll see if it happens with some of these players. I saw Nauman running that character quite a bit more than the kid. He said he might think about switching. We'll see if that actually happens, but man, let's see what the lucky moment happens. There's the overhead, the wrong punish. It should have been a crouching medium punch. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but again, he was ready, prepped for the punish after the punish, so not bad. 25 points, CHE Osaka.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, like, now with the question brought up about Terry, whether or not they'll be coming in from the side of, like, maybe Crazy Raccoon, maybe VARREL. I want to see, I think, like, Mago might pull out the Terry because there was a moment where he streamed for, like, what, 16 hours? While I was like over there, I was watching it with my buddy Different Fight. He's a big TCG professional out there. We were at his house, and we were like filming some content out there too. So we had Mago's stream open for like the longest time, and from like start to finish, when we were going through like some of our stuff too, man was still going strong. As soon as I actually got home from like all of the stuff we had to do that day, I pulled up the stream on my phone. He was still going. This guy was in double digits, neck deep into the Terry vortex. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. I think that's something that we're going to see possibly from only Team VARREL, as Mago's the only one that's really trying to put on the Terry gimmick on the map, in my opinion, with the full hat. I want to say, right? So we'll see. It would be cool to actually see that kind of lineup happen in Street Fighter Duel as well, right? Seeing the fact that Terry is a part of Street Fighter 6. I know there's technically a Street Fighter 6 collab going in Street Fighter Duel. I got to check that out for myself and see what's good. But the fact of the matter is, there is a lot going on in the realm of Street Fighter Duel. I love the artwork behind it all. I love the different costumes and the different variations of characters too. It's been a lot of fun. Speaking of, a lot of fun going on too with Capcom Esports as well as Street Fighter JA. There's a lot of really, really cool peripherals that are actually going around for like the fighting game community, but also giving back on a fan basis, right? Getting a full signed photo, like the Polaroid of the teams, also with the pins and the buttons and the stickers. That looks pretty damn cool, man. I would love to get like the photo collage of all the players. That's a really, man, that's kind of sick. That's on something like pop star status, if you ask me.
I was about to say, it's like a boy band. This is sick. I wonder if we can get these at like Street Fighter League at the finals. You know, it'd be cool to have them, you know, sold out or you know sent out or whatever. But that's super cool that you show their different personalities right there. You can see all of them have different sort of face, like the Good 8 Squad right there, all looking down the camera. Like my boy Tenta would usually do, just sets on the camera and take a picture of everybody. But it's cool to see all these cool and different things out in the land of Japan, all these nice items for Street Fighter League or for just Street Fighter 6 just in general. A lot of cool merch that's going around for this game, whether it be t-shirts, we got the stickers and things like that. And of course, as you mentioned, the grand finals are solidified. The finals, actually, for Street Fighter League Japan will be next year, February the 11th. Lock it in your calendars. Of course, we have the day 1 and day 2 for the playoffs. That's going to be December 21st and December 22nd. They'll be happening in a few months. We still have to get there. We're still trying to deliberate and figure out who is going to be in those top spots in the playoffs. It's going to be super exciting all the way through as we're getting towards the second half of the season.
That would be so sick to catch the grand finals live and in full effect if we could, man. But one thing is for certain, as these tickets are on sale, they'll be selling out very, very quickly. So if you are in Japan or planning to be there during that time, we highly encourage you guys to please, if you're a Street Fighter fan, do yourself this service of checking out the grand finals of Street Fighter League Pro-JP happening again February 11th. Also being able to check out the playoffs, being able to do so pretty much right before Christmas. That is an excellent Christmas present for yourself if you celebrate. Again, keep these mark these down on your calendar and be prepared for some of the best that we can expect from the land of Japan and the ever-evolving meta through the many talented players that we have here thus far. We pretty much concluded our very first matchup between Belc, Favu Gaming, against CAG Osaka. Just in case you hadn't noticed, you're not looking at the screen, Yogibo Reject is going to be facing off against Crazy, Raccoon, as well as Hiroshima Team Ikusa facing off against VARREL. It's going to be pretty highly and hotly contested going in between all 4 of these teams. Taking a look at the rankings. So with that in mind, we highly encourage you guys to hydrate yourselves, get the snacks ready, because when it comes to round 2 of it all, it's going to be intense. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
再開は約10分後の20時17分頃を予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Yeah, come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. I ain't never scared, never quitting is the motto. Yeah, come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. Among us, take it much farther. Fast with the hands, E Honda. Defend my legacy with strength and honor. Showdown, this is my arena.
よし、大将鳥飯、クラシックダルシム。大将鳥飯、クラシックダルシム。
本番で言ったら俺クソ笑いますからね、今言って。
対象戦を戦う。
来ますよ。
操作タイプを申告いただきましょう。リーダーお願いします。
大将鳥飯ではなく、クラシック神でお願いします。
ダルシムなの？
さあ、来ました。大将出場選手、アキラ選手。
ドライブ1ドットで
先端の距離を維持していますが、
ここで逆
いけるのか？
出たー。
惜しい。
いいよ。相手まだ消えてないよ。
アキラ取って。
たまるかも。
千載一遇。さあこれ削るだけ削った。
大パンだけ注意。大パンだけ注意。オッケー。オッケー。
でもやっぱ今投げが全然なかったですね。
食らって OD 昇竜だったら端に追い詰めてるときはまあいいのかなと思うよ。
ワンチャンスで終わんないでしょ。
ちょっとここで中足。
次ですね。
パリ投げた。
ああ、当たるよ。
パリが
無敵が溜まる。
ここで。
これはでかいっす。全然アドバイスは実行されなかったけど。
こんなに投げ少ない試合は初めて見ました。
ごめんね。
まあでもバチバチの殴り合いだったね。いやよく勝ったよ本当に。
いや本当っすよ。ここで仕事しなきゃもう大将張れないでしょうね。全力でぶっ潰します。
うちの坊ちゃん。
頑張ってください。
いいねいいねいいね。
ですが1位で
ドンはい減りすぎ。あのね。もうこれは負けないっす。大将行かせてくれてありがとうございました。マジで。負けてねえだろ俺が大将戦で。ざけんなよ。俺とか思ってんじゃねえぞ。ほら、なんか孫さんがボンさんをなんか何でしたっけ、潰すだかなんか言ってたんですよね、前回終わった時。孫さん大将で来てくれたら変わらず大将だったんですけど、なんかちびっちまったのかいなくなっちまったから、もう腹いせにもう水は悪いけどね、悪かったけど水はには悪かったけども、その怒りをぶつけさせていただいた形になりましたかね。
話しちゃいけねえなこの人。
本当ね。仲間だから。 This matchup coming up is going to be hotly contested as we have Yogibo Reject going up against Crazy Raccoon. Now, the talent is super stacked, and we'll show you exactly why as the away team gets ready. Here comes Yogibo Reject stepping up to the plate. Lashar, the man with the Korean golden finger. I don't know who gave him that title, but man, it definitely fits, I guess. I gotta say, Lashar is looking like the top point earner thus far. Torimeshi coming in as the High Priest with the ever-impressive Dalsim that has been thoroughly buffed, I gotta say. Pretty decent changes going into it. Akira being as lightning fast as ever with the ever-impressive Kami play as well. Being able to see him on the stage for the very first time and get that W was so satisfying, and all because being led under the fighting game genius. Not just the scout, it's Tokido, the man with the actual high IQ who is dubbed the true genius in Japan. I gotta say, man, so excited to see these guys play. Tokido's a little bit of a goofball sometimes, though, seeing that a little bit in the ad earlier, little insights. But yeah, that is Yogibo Reject coming in from the away side.
10 points away, though. It's Crazy Raccoon, a new team to the scene, but not new in terms of the players that are coming up to bat. Take a look at this top-level team that is starting to climb the ranks and know what it takes in terms of strategy and what to do with their characters to cut through the competition. First up to bat, one of my favorite players to watch and see, the judge, the jury, the executioner himself, Papa Bon-chan on the Akuma, doing a lot of work with that stand-like kick from that character, having a better time with Akuma. Loved back by all fighting games. It is Kazunoko. That is Jeremy Senpai right there. The man coming through the skies with the dive kicks on the Scammy Kami. After that, it's going to be Asura. It is Shuto on the demon flipping Akuma and providing such an aggressive look to that character at such a high level too as well. Last but definitely not least is the man who made the right pack with the right devil, with the wind devil. It is Dogura. Very dominant team out here as they are starting to climb the ranks again, starting to understand their characters and how to operate against the competition. Shuto getting better with the demon flips and that sort of game plan with the character. The Bon-chan caught unawares. I don't know what he's sipping, but look good though. But that's one person I want to know real quick is Bon-chan from his last time that we saw him really getting a handle on how to play Akuma his way. He did work at EWC, but now it feels like even more so, especially in League. He knows what it takes with his character. Yogibo Reject, though, is on the away side to put up their characters first. Ken, Kami, and Ed. Now, Ed has been talked about a lot on Twitter as being top 5, dominantly top 5. Some people saying he doesn't have any matchups that are bad. What do you think about the whole Ed shenanigans in terms of like the recent rumbling about the character?
I think it all kind of like stewed from the posts that Nemo had kind of put out in regards to the rankings. Other players had followed suit afterwards, but there was a lot of context that was given within that ranking, right? I think there was a couple of things that needs to be addressed. I think Ed does a great job in fighting against the current meta. With that in mind, I think that rightfully so places him amongst the top 5. I think he's has a lot of stock value despite getting a little bit of a nerf towards the meter gainage from level 2. Because either way, he's still going to be gaining a lot of meter regardless off of that whole sequencing, right? So I think right now he's in a really good spot. I don't think he's number 1 per se, but I think he fights the top 5 pretty consistently thus far. Now, in terms of like the bad matchups, I haven't seen the entire roster thoroughly face off against Ed thus far, right? There could be some like random anomalies. Maybe like Manon could be a big problem for him because we've seen cats like Tachikawa use that exact thing for the matchup. So who knows? Who really knows? I'm not trying to say maybe Manon's the one to like give him the bad matchup. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But we don't know thoroughly. It's still up in the air.
Well, nothing's wrong with this character. You know, it was before where thought the anti-airs were kind of hard for the character, and they still are, but the right spacing and timing with like kill rush to back away from danger has allowed Lashar, as we've seen him previously fight some of the Kamis, to avoid that situation from happening and have the proper DPs and the anti-airs, the jump backs and things like that. Now the character's been buffed with the jump heavy kick. You get a better conversion, some more level 2 conversions. We'll see that a little bit later on. Now we're seeing Kami go up immediately, which is strange because I thought Kami would go up last to fight Lashar, but maybe he's just too informed in that matchup. We'll see him go up against Tokido. It's going to be Kazunoko first. Tokido looks like he's in high spirits. In terms of matches so far, in terms of the ones that he has done work in, I think he's on the lower side of things compared to like last season's. Hasn't been as dominant. He's only won I shouldn't say only. He's won 2 out of his 4 matches, so he's about even. So he's not doing too terrible for himself, not doing too bad, not doing too good. He's on the median. But however, for Kazunoko, I feel like he's just been amazing. If I look at his schedule, yeah, he's won all of his games thus far. He's played 3 games. He's won all of them thus far. He's been so dominant in terms of when he gets comfortable taking the skies with the dive kicks. It's so surprising that he's able just to just kind of steamroll the competition from there.
I love this too. I love this quote coming in from Tokido. Pretty impressive, man. He is intimidating. I was longing to play with you. Your glasses are going to be broken after you play with me. That's a little violent. That's something I never expected from the side of Tokido. Ever. What a call out.
Hey, man, relax.
Is he okay?
Like, for a man with glasses? You gonna punch somebody with glasses on?
You wouldn't punch a man with glasses?
Tokido would. So I'd stand fierce that in a second.
That guy's that's the most violent thing I've ever heard Tokido say against someone like Kazunoko. Does Kazunoko deserve it though? I feel like that's the question. The way he plays and the character selection that he has in every fighting game, does he deserve it? I don't know.
My glasses are myself. I'll try not to be broken by Tokido, says Kazunoko. In rebuttal, he's like, this is a part of me. This is a feature of mine. You don't get Kazunoko without the glasses. And you don't get Kazunoko without the dive kicks. Let's see how this matchup operates. Let's see if Tokido's ready. A bit more informed here.
So far, the back and forth engagement has been so difficult to process from both ends, right? I feel like Tokido and Kazunoko playing a mighty respectful game up until this point. Kazunoko getting the big opener, crouching heavy punch back to back too, doing a lot of damage on the drive gauge. We know what Kazunoko's mission is now. The big whip punish against the standing medium kick. Now it's all falling together for Kazunoko's favor.
Light kick, trying to catch him, walking back with the stand fierce and a fireball, hard knockdown, the sweep off the feet. ODDP and burnout, but definitely looking fantastic as Kazunoko has the lead, has the walk speed, a back walk a little bit too as well, and the real estate to play around with. Tokido with the counter at Chad, ends it with the DP, drive rush, stand fierce, dragon lash, tick throw up in the corner. Depending on what he gets after this sequence right here, could be death if he opens him up. Can he do so before the drive gauge gets back? You get the drive impact, he does. Right at the right time.
Yeah, that could have been a moment for Kazunoko had he been churning the butter for the level 1, but Tokido is just so sneaky, man. I'm loving the back and forth thus far from both ends. You can see the dichotomy between the games, right? You can see the dichotomy between the two players. The back and forth thus far, Kazunoko, you would think he has the upper hand, but Tokido, again, being able to flash out in a moment's notice and get the full sequencing just like that. Off with a step kick, counter hit, standing light kick into the level 3. It's real hotly contested. We talked about it.
Sick throw. Looking so good. Gets a heavy kick, punish counter for the knockdown. Gets some distance. Like that poke tool. -3 now. Good to throw out. Heavy kick at the tip. Stand light kick. Buffer. Throwing arrow for the Oki. Jump back up in the corner. Yeah, Kazunoko not falling for that jump back. Perfect parry. Drive impact. Attack on drive gauge. The drive rush rumble is coming. You're up burnout. Now, is he churning this time? Is he looking for an opening with the super at some of these points? Still going to have to be a little bit more aware. Ooh, he gets the drive impact either way. Run DP. Ken wins.
He's aiming for the glasses. He's aiming for the face. Tokido looking real violent in the streets. A little bit of a change up too. So we'll see though. Kazunoko has been one to kind of like make these adaptations despite being on the ropes, despite being at the deficit. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Big punish.
Up for the Gen Ride. Again. Gets a plus range. He's willing to do so and host a burnout, but if he gets aggressive, he'll build that bar back up. He's like a battery. Another one against the Gen Ride. But I feel like Tokido's like, I'll take away this drive gauge because we've seen that have success in terms of burnout scenario. Gets a counter light kick right after. Drive rush, stand fierce, puts him in burnout.
Counter hit again from the step kick. Tokido getting a lot of mileage out of that too. A little bit of delay on the Dragon Lash too. Kazunoko gets caught reaching full lesson learned. Tokido level 1. Got him. Look at that match point. Well spent from Tokido. He's looking like a different man when it comes to facing off against Kazunoko. He really hates glasses.
He really does. It's very personal. Also, like he's playing around the burnout very, very well. This is how I win. You up in the corner in burnout. This is how I win. The back dash. Perfectly done. Gets the OD side switch in the DP right after. Defense to the offense. Trying to go for the throw right after. Beautiful read. In rebuttal. So with the super. Jump medium in the dive kick right after. Nice and close to the crouch fierce. He's killing a lot of drive gauge. Gonna box it out. Let's stay like it. That's the same sequence we saw previously. He jumped out and then got hit with the counter right after.
What a DP!
Who said Tokido don't anti-air? Who said?
Oh, and what a read and a call out. Kazunoko with the reactions himself. The spin knuckle against the fireball. You thought it was going to be safe. Tokido paying dearly for that. Now still at match point. Does have 3 bars to his name. Kazunoko looking a little dry down below with a super high gauge.
His own drive impact. What's the award? And the revenge. This is lick back. Up throw after the 2-piece. We get a perfect KO. More throw. There it is. Kazunoko getting it back in blood.
Very aggressive too. Like in between the sequences, Kazunoko going for a sequence with the Super R1. Looking to spend that meter early to kind of just establish that life lead. That was actually pretty interesting to see Kazunoko do that too. I mean, if he wasn't going to spend the rest of it, I totally understand it. Like towards the end of it, it's like why hold on to it if you can't use it later, right?
I think it's a utility with the bar. You know, most people go on for level 3, possibly level 2 maybe. Like crouching medium punch, doesn't get a counter combo though. Delays a little bit. Tokido looking for the bust outs when they happen. Drive impact, well rewarded. Walks up to get as much bar as possible. Won't be able to kill the sequence. Actually dropped the combo. Side switch off the spin knuckle. No way.
Uppercut?
No way.
What was that? Kazunoko actually had time to block. He definitely had time to block. He did standing jab, and I think he did maybe OD uppercut. And maybe the level 1 outlasted the invincibility. I don't know. I don't even know what exactly that OD was from Kazunoko.
Very strange. Perfect parry, one cancel though. Skill takes it back. He's on set point now. Enhanced Tatsu. See him waiting after some of these OP decisions. Waiting for the bust out from Kazunoko. Counter hits, power arrow for the Oki. Try to chase down the attempted tech, possibly. The throw right after.
Oh, you know that was a cross cut. Very interesting that the light kick still managed to anti-air successfully.
That bust out. Would have died for it. Throw some gas up in the tank. The same medium doesn't hit. The fall does. The Jinrai drive rush. Crouching unit kick does not commit to anything right after it though. Oh, no reaction. And the fadeaway, the walk back. I'm still in with the crouching medium kick to get my win. Final game, final round. It comes out of this.
Damage into the corner carry on top of the Oki as well. Kazunoko looking very, very strong. While maintaining match point, does have 2 bars to his name. Backing away ever so slightly in recovery for that drive gauge and possibly anticipation for a fireball. Tokido might be sniffing it out, still towards the fireball. Anyway, counter hit again! Kazunoko's been caught multiple times against the step kick. And Tokido's been able to cash out. Now more so than ever though, with the level 3 behind it. Damn!
Caught him blocking. Lacking, let's get cracking. OD Jinrai to normal Jinrai, DP Ender. Drive impact again! He wants a reward. His reward is a W with the OD Jinrai. He's aiming for those glasses. He's breaking the glass wall. It is Tokido with the victory. How many drive impacts did this man land? Way too many.
むしろ刺してくるような動き。まあ実際結構そのキャミーに対してインパクトって割と理にかなってて、その
Yeah, I know for sure.
Even though
I know for sure.
飛んだとこにも当たるし。
The commentators are definitely talking about that, like the drive impacts towards the end of it all. That's something that really it shows like Kazunoko kind of like frustrated too. That's the first time he kind of like was going back and forth in the seat. He's like, all right, you got me. The fact that Tokido still got away with it towards the end is actually pretty impressive. I'm thoroughly surprised. Like 7 out of 7 drive impacts landed. That has got to skyrocket him towards the top, right?
Wow, that is incredible. Considering like he's been backing off a little bit. Maybe Kazunoko thought he'd back off a little bit because of the bust outs that we've seen every so often. So maybe it's one of those things where he was like, okay, maybe I'll go for a fireball here to end his turn or something else. But drive impacts were hitting quite a bit. 7 in total. That's 10 points. Yogibo reject. For the Cammy, I think you send up. I wrote in my notes here. I'd like someone to keep up with the speed star, so I'd like Shuto to go up. I don't think you send up Dogoro. That's not a fun matchup for Bison. But I feel like you need someone that can keep up that sort of pacing that Akira wants to play at. So Shuto, I think, would be a good choice.
I think Bonchan would be a pretty good choice, but Shuto makes a lot of sense too. Ah, it's going to be Bonchan. Okay, so I think Bonchan has done a great job of kind of like solidifying himself as one of the great walls in terms of active defense. Going in with Goki as well, he has so many different avenues to kind of stop Cammy in his tracks too. I think Bonchan is such like a studious and veteran player that he can handle all types of speeds and playstyles. So I think I trust it more so in the hands of Bonchan to stop the exact style from someone like Akira. He knows full well that Akira is looking to be a nut, and it's not going to be the first time they've engaged against each other in totality of Street Fighter League. So I think this makes a lot more sense for Bonchan to step up to the plate with Akuma.
Let's say light kick too as well. I feel like he's been utilizing that tool to kind of wall people out and get the buffer right after the drive rush. Not many cool players are using it as effectively as him. I feel like they use it for like maybe like a stand light kick and a crouching light punch or something like that. Maybe confirming another button. He's using it to drive rush right after like he did with Luke. Like I remember the days of when he played Luke and he'd be smashing that light kick a lot, and people would go into his streams and be like, "Why are you using that button?" He's like, I'm buffering drive rush behind you, so I can get a drive rush confirm and get a corner carry and follow up, all that stuff like that. He's the same way with Akuma. That same like Akuma is really good. And I'd imagine it's pretty good in this matchup too as well with Cammy. So I guess I agree. I agree with him being able to kind of wall out the likes of Akira. He's gonna be nutty. He's gonna be able to squash that sort of game plan. We'll see if Akira can reel it back, reel it back and not go for these bust out ODDPs. He's a very emotional player. So like I feel like if he's in a bad emotional state, he'll make more of those errors more often than not. He's been getting better about that, but when that does happen, someone like Bonchan and Akuma will make you pay for those bad decisions. But when he's on form, when he's like really going with the momentum, he's really feeling himself, he's really hard to stop. Even if you're the most offensive player in the business, he'll be able to trip you up with like hooligans, maybe go for grabs that you don't expect, like 3 or 4 grabs that you don't really expect. He's hard to pace.
It really feels that way. It truly does. But we'll see again, Bonchan, he's had the formula unlock majority of the time to figure out like how somebody plays within like the first couple of games, the first couple of exchanges, first couple of rounds too. So I think there's going to be a very highly contested matchup between the two. Akira, all smiles right now, as excited as he is. This is his multiple times being able to face off against Bonchan, right? So I love the excitement coming from Akira, right? Just being unleashed. Right, I love seeing that side of him in total. So it really is up to Bonchan right now. With all the momentum, I feel like being on Akira's side, it truly is up to Bonchan to make do. What is going on here? I see a lot of these stands in the woodwork. But what is this on the left? Is this just the outfit on the left?
Keychain outfit? What is that? Can I get one of Akuma? I guess he wouldn't have much depending on the costume, but still I definitely want more of the characters. Get some of those sent over, that'd be great. Or maybe they're the scent things you hang up in your car. I don't know. I have no idea. Y'all can let us know if you were able to do the translation. Maybe we'll ask the production crew. But right now, let's see who produces the result between, oh my god, Bonchan with the stand jab start. You mentioned the walls he play style, able to intercept it from coming in, getting a counter combo. First OD bust out from Akira.
Just at the low. Full continuation of the combo. Bonchan being the one to set the tone, right? I think one of the best ways to shut down someone like a Speedstar is not letting him get the engine revved up in the first place. And Bonchan is doing exactly that, right? We talked about too the wall of defense. It's thus far turned into offense right now. Bonchan, you talked about that standing light kick being a big disruptor tool. Bonchan making it work fully after that. That standing light kick could have left a little bit more, but immediately going into the low medium kick, that was beautifully done. Man, that was a very far standing medium punch and still being able to get the counter hit conversion. Bonchan's wall of normals are looking pretty clean.
The walk speed around it. Nice side switch here. Akira. Reversal backdash. That stay like could have been into a little bit more. Top two would have been nice. It's like the sweet part knockdown. Taps a parry. Gets thrown for his troubles. Uh-oh. Engines on. Forward fierce. Gets the target combo. Overhead blocks it out. Takes back the turn after the jab. Okay, this is your game to win, but Bonchan only needs to land one confirm into her super to seal it. Careful with those neutrals up to BP, level 3. Or level 3 off of this will be the victory. Adamant Fist. Sip this calamity. Slow down.
Man, that is the most evil game of peekaboo I've ever seen. This guy Akuma, real dastardly, dude. That's actually just murder in the streets. Crazy Raccoon getting another dub right now. Bonchan sitting at 1 game over the Speedstar against Akira, part of Yogibo Reject. We got to take a little bit of a timeout too to discuss what went wrong and also what went right for Bonchan. A very, very active team from both ends, right? Crazy Raccoon, very much so singing the praises of Bonchan anytime he gets his W. And a lot of the times with Yogibo Reject, a lot of activity coming in towards Akira. As much as he is all smiles when it comes to like the serious business of trying to figure out the matchups, he has a very vocal and active group behind him as well, right? With both Tokido and Lashar, Torimeshi also alongside them as well. Not really feeling under the weather, or not feeling quite right. He is a little bit under the weather right now, but at the same time, still being there, having him present is so important to figure out what needs to be done. I want to see what Akira kind of does to change up the pace. If he's forcing himself to kind of like change up the pace against someone like Bonchan out the gate.
Akira said, I want to make him regret this matchup from now on. I think it might be the opposite. And the way that Bonchan is walling him out, the stand light kick, stand light punch also as well. Like the entry points that Akira would like to rely upon, spin knuckle preemptively, dash ups and drive rush ups are getting caught. So maybe it's just the walk speed of the character. You walk down with stand medium kick now. Heavy kick might be more presented now. I feel like those might be better options instead of just kind of forcing your way in where it allows Bonchan to be able to get these like counter combos that lead into possibly Tatsu heavy kick and then like the sweep into your guessing for more damage possibly. Even if he's not getting a lot of damage off, even if Bonchan's not getting a lot of damage off, you saw him reset, get the crouching medium kick to connect. Like he's aware of situations where, okay, I'm not going to land or I'm not going to be able to convert. Let me go for another option above that. So Bonchan's ready for those moments too as well. I think Akira's got to like use more of these medium buttons, I feel like, and kind of wait for a little bit and see what Bonchan's going to be doing. Because I feel like the Speedstar is going a little bit too fast. He's getting stopped too often. It's leading up to too much damage. And then the corner carry as well. You don't want to give Akuma that ability to put you up in the corner. We know what Akuma can do. Right. Demon Fist, the pressure with the fireballs and damage. You don't want that to happen. But it's happening too often.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what kind of like rash decisions Akira's going to make with his meter, with Cammy. I think there's more often, there's so many situations where Cammy would kind of bust out like OD dive kicks, and the way that Akira had played last time, keep in mind, the one time he made something happen out of like pure desperation, he won, right? He did OD dive kick and then immediately into like OD uppercut to get the W. I want to see some of that again from the side of Akira going up against Bonchan.
Back in the game. Oh, drive rush, admin fest. Trying to get a suppressor-like tool off. Doesn't work, but let's find the stand fierce. Heavy kick Tatsu. Akira tried to get Jonkin so good. Yeah, that's going to be an easy punish, though. Crouch him in a kick in the spiral arrow and the throw right after on the Oki. Oh, hard knockdown. Bro, that was nasty. The cross-up, ooh. After the knockdown, Bonchan lands himself a set point.
I'm not getting the damage output right now. The speed that Akira's playing at, exactly on par with what we could expect. A little bit awkward too, the perfect parry on the lights. Gee, I think Bonchan went for a crouching medium punch, if I'm not mistaken. Not gonna really get himself the punish counter, but the containment too. The containment unit that is Bonchan off of those fierces.
That subject is out. For how long? Right combo. Bonchan trying to realign with that back heavy kick. Into the fireball. Tap parry not caught this time. Punish count on the throw. It's fine here for Bonchan. Drive rush break and a drive rush jab. Stayed beyond set point. Bar at the bottom. Bar in the bank to utilize.
A lot of meter on the shelf for both players. Bonchan sitting at just over half gauge. What a time to jump in. And Bonchan actually had committed to a forward medium kick. Akira's timing and his game sense towards when Bonchan wants to press the button has really awarded him a very, very pivotal game. At least for now. Does have a hefty life lead. Very expensive round, or sorry, very expensive sequencing. Let's see if he can get himself a game on the board.
Anti-air is so difficult considering it could be a dive kick. Does land a 3-piece off the target combo. Drive rush medium, adamant fist on the level 3 immediately to get the lead. Up your bar, take a little bit away from his. Still doable here for Akira. Tick throw. Looking a little bit darker. Maybe fireball trying to switch it up. With the speeds of the fireballs. On the whip punish.
Oh my god. Punishing the overhead from that far away. I can't even believe Bonchan went for that option. I couldn't tell you whether or not that was like a mistake. If maybe he tried to do like a weird like walk-up fireball perhaps, but I don't even know. Bonchan paying dearly. I gotta say that changeup from Akira, really, really well played.
Again, it's using that walk speed, the crouching unit kick as well. You know, better grounded game that affords him the jump. It affords him to have that happen. Bonchan with a fantastic start, crouching unit kick, drive rush, and the heavy kick ender. The max amount of corner carry, no drive impact. Bonchan not giving any bad fireballs to Akira.
Moving on in. You see the amount of activity thus far, which is exactly why Akira went for the spin knuckle. Bonchan, how well can you play out your defense against someone this fast? You got the sweeps on deck, on the side switch as well. A lot of room to work with now. Bonchan can play all the defense he wants.
Get that trade, not too much more than another jump in the jump light kick this time. Level 2 off. Crack the legs, crack the back, and just like that, Akira is now the one on set point. More dominant with the jumps. You see a lack of anti-airs from the side of Bonchan, but it's hard. You know, dive kick if you low, if you throw, jump heavy kick. Think about a lot of things which he takes to the skies, and Akira recognizes that.
Oh. This is so engaging right now. Like, Akira has been trying to find a way to crack the defensive ends from Bonchan thus far. This is the moment to do it too. Perfect parry, and immediately as I say that, Bonchan is so good. Damn, what side was that? That was mad awkward too. Akira back rolled, that should have been in the front, and which it was. That's something to anticipate, right? Off of the demon flip. Akira should have known better. I think that's something that he's practiced before too.
He's a tech head, so I'm surprised he wasn't aware, but again, like the heat of the moment, it's difficult to deal with everything that Akuma can present. The knockdown scenarios with punish, that backswing blow, heavy get Tatsu ender, bar in the bank again for another level 2 scenario, depending what Bonchan lands. With that suppressor, finds a crouching medium punch with the drive rush behind it, and there's the Empyrean end in the end of Akira. He played so well, but just the chase down, so he's knocked down scenarios with these weird cross-ups, and who knows where it's going to land after the demon flip or the jump in. has afforded Bonchan the win. It's not just a stand light kick. It's the knockdown scenarios that he's getting after and the reward that he's getting a lot more off of all these hits. Bonchan takes it over Akira. Man, Akira was fighting back well. I like the footsie game, like the walk-up crouching medium kicks, the pokes mid-screen, but it wasn't enough to add up to taking down Bonchan.
Yeah, it really came down to like a battle of attrition, right? I think like the long-standing player is the one that's going to be winning, and I think Bonchan is much more well-versed in that regard and that kind of playstyle in comparison to Akira. Going for the jumping too, just looking at that, there was a lot of moments too where Akira kind of folded off of things where he kind of shouldn't have, but at least with the rebuttals that he's had with the big whiff punishes, I think that's like more than enough to kind of salvage those situations. Now going into the final round of it all, I think Bonchan turning it up with the amount of life that he had, making the right decision to not play as passive was excellent demonstration of game sense and also urgency coming in from himself. So I think I like that. Bonchan being as versatile, one of the best in the game to do it in regards to playing that neutral game, outspacing your opponent, then bam, at a moment's notice, playing the switch up and being an offensive beast. I love that from Bonchan. I think that was an excellent decision coming in from the Crazy Raccoon team. Very well played from Dogura to make that call.
The final match. The Wind Devil. The one that contracted. Not him. It was a fake out. Nice mix, Dogura. Thank you so much. I was actually hoping that Dogura would come up, but they're setting up Shuto. The most demon flipping Akuma in the business to come fight this match. Dang, I really want to see Dogura. I really want to see Dogura fight this match. I want to see what his idea is with Bison against Ed, but it will be a little Kuma versus Ed match with a different sort of style again. Shuto, I feel like he's the first one along with Mina and Angry Bird when the character dropped to really understand that taking the disguise is very imperative for the character with demon flips and has likened his own style to basically just a demon flipper. He says he's a demon flipper. He loves that aspect of the character. He doesn't like to play the ground game as much, but he knows the reward that can come from demon flipping. I want to see how Lashar deals with that, because Lashar is clean and pristine, and we've seen with the buff, with the jump heavy kick, a lot more reward off going for the air-to-air approach. So I want to see what happens with Ed if he takes this guy, he gets the reward with the level 2, new combos possibly. Man, Dogura, I really want you to come up, bro. Why'd you mix us like that?
やっぱ ER と今リジェクトは3、4だからポイントが大接中気合ですね。それで勝ちたい。
I love the fact that Lashar is really exercising his his Japanese in the interviews as well. I did get a little bit of insight from Fukutabete in person too, talking about Lashar, how he would demonstrate majority of his Japanese through like puns and go through those exercises a lot, and also kind of like joke around with the team. So I love the fact that Lashar is still like getting out of his comfort zone to even practice and elevate his learning experiences by speaking in Japanese on these broadcasts, man. Very intimidating, but going back to the games itself, as we get the translations in from the interviews, one of the biggest things, again, you talked about Shuto highlighting his tendencies to jump, his tendencies to do demon raids over and over and over again. Listen, I think that's going to be a really, really big deal in consideration to the buffs that Ed had. You talked about it earlier. Jump roundhouse is going to be such a pivotal tool to shut that down and also sort of discourage some of the players out here from doing so, right? We'll see if Lashar is able to snipe that out, and we'll see what happens with Shuto going forward. However, I think the way that Ed plays right now, being such a mid-range control beast with his normals, I think that's going to be like the biggest issue no matter what. Whether you have the ways to shut down the demon raids, I think just getting to that in the first place of like dealing with someone like Lashar is going to be the biggest problem for Shuto. Is like, how do you shut down such an aggressive yet somewhat passive Ed player at a switch up? This guy can be so many play styles at once. It's actually so intimidating.
He's a robot, man. A lot of players liken him to a robot when he played Chun-Li, when he played Luke. And the same thing with Ed. I feel like with Ed, it really fits his style of being, when he's clean, he's really on it. He's hard to open up. We saw him anti-airing all the games continuously. Shuto says, though, I've played with so many Eds, and I've won against all of them. I'm really excited to show how my moves will go against Lashar. Right now, the wrong move is very punishable. The knockout and the throw right after is Lashar. Chase down the trade, almost got the fall. Stuffy buttons sometimes don't always reach the lights.
This guy's a machine, man. Did you see how carefully placed that medium was for the rest of it. Medium, punish counter into the standing fears, the full sequencing into level 1. This guy is so mechanical with his movement. It is absolutely diabolical. This guy cannot be pressed, cannot be budged at all. You make a move, it's a mistake. If it whiffs, more likely, more often than not, he will be punished again. On to the next set of sequences now. Lashar, safe jump into it. Empty jump throw. Shuto still being able to challenge that. Again! The challenge gets Shuto.
Pretty close. And the fist ender. Dash up the drive rush medium. Crouching and kick into nothing though. With the walk up throw. Yeah, he didn't really establish his ground pick. The back dash. Medium counter hit. He's got the level 2 as well. Stand fierce. Pissing me off. Into the super, still have more in the tank. If need be, that's a victory. Now, one thing Shuto also has mentioned, and this was early on his streams in the year, was that he's like, man, my fireball game is not so good. And I feel like you have to have a very effective fireball game if you're fighting Ed. You have to have a better ideation of like when to put the fireballs. You have some great fireballs, but having like the heavy punch fireball definitely help you walk the character down, establish the aerial game, because he's been going with the air fireball, and that's been first DP'd, then perfect parry and punish right after. Lashar's too mechanical, too perfect when it comes to dealing with the aerial approach right now. That's not been an opening point for Shuto. That's his thing, and it's not been established and earned yet. The respect has not been earned there. So he's gonna have to do so on the ground, and that's has to be with fireballs, I feel like, in this matchup. You have to use the fireballs, OD, heavy punch fireball, then you get the 4 fierce and stand fierce, then you can start jumping in with the dive kicks and demon rays and things like that. All those fun things you like to do.
Yeah, but that's such a tough ask, right? I think Lashar has had more than enough answers against the fireball game pretty much out the gate against any character, right? He has the versatility between the flickers, he has versatility between the spark into actual fireball. I think Akuma doesn't necessarily win that war of attrition for the fireball department. I think there's a lot to really consider that needs to be done from Shuto, from like maybe a mid-range space, from further out perhaps to, or at least when Lashar is not charging up and threatening with the flicker, right? I think I like the idea of further out air fireball, just as long as Lashar is not in that stance. But outside of that, this is going to be a real big conundrum for Shuto. I don't know what kind of practice he's had against some of the other Ed players. This one is truly an anomaly when it comes to the Eds out in the field right now, right? You have the likes of Momochi being very active with his character, Fudo as well, Yamaguchi, we talked about a little bit earlier too, but Lashar, I feel like he stands above the rest of it. Again, you try to demon raid, you try to go for the guillotine, man, you can't do nothing without the chopping block.
Don't let him have any cake at all. It's an air fireball again, trying to dominate some of that space just overall. Whip punch with the drive rush against a sweep. And you see Shuto trying to find some buttons. He does find the crouching medium punch at least. Adamant fist, nice and close for the throw right after. And the fireball, perfect parry. Try to go for the guillotine again. He gets a pickup. Lashar, too clean. OD, go shore you. Go sit down for a second over there.
Sniped him out, limb for limb. Level 1 to get the burnout. Not quite yet. Force the burnout upon him though. Shuto knows it. He has to play this fireball war. He has to stick to it, but he has to tread pretty carefully.
It's that flicker. Not introduced. Guillotine does bust the dome. Drive rush throw. Let's get back in the game for maybe a possible OD fireball.
Wow!
Lashar lets OD DP rip.
That is maximum scumbaggery!
That's Lashar Walker right there.
Lashar Walker? I didn't respect your name enough. Oh, that's huge.
Stay in the corner. Oh, they confirm to level 2. The whip punish, didn't press a button. You saw him wait for that. Dude, I dare you. I swear to God. Golly.
he was inching up, and the way he was inching up too, he was pretty much wave dashing essentially. He was doing down, down forward, down, down forward. What's crazy about that is if Akuma tries to throw a fireball, OD uppercut comes out, he's able to get that punish. If any sort of limb comes out, he can just cancel it, or he can actually just go right into the roundhouse and crouching roundhouse too to get the whiff punish, which he did. That is actually so intimidating with Lashar. Being able to get those like micro movements to close the gap. Switching between crouching and standing stance too. That is so intimidating, man. This guy Lashar is a beast.
I was gonna say he's more man or more machine than man, but he might be the machine with the soul. Hit that ODDP in between. That is him feeling himself and him on game point against Shuto. Shuto, you may have practiced with mortals, but you're facing a god, a man of the golden touch, the Midas finger right here. It feels like there's nothing Shuto can really do in this matchup, and honestly, everything has been locked away. The aerial approach, the ground approach, the fireballs have been flickered away. Everything has not worked out, and all the damage has been maximized. It feels like in damn near every single interaction. Lashar in very high spirits. Shuto, I've rarely seen him this in thought in any match. Usually a jokester, even when he's playing CPT, when I watch him on the streams and things like that. But he is looking mad serious right now. I don't even know what to tell you in terms of what to do. Like, I don't know what Shuto can really do right now to be effective against the machine. I don't know what sort of virus he can implement to take him down, but it's looking very dark for Shuto right now.
Yeah, even from a commentary perspective, like being the third party to kind of like look upon these matches, it's so hard to really dissect the game plan and also come up with some other strategy. Because Shuto, multiple approaches, he's been locked down, right? As much as we talked about, like maybe throughout the fireball game, that gets shut down. Try to play the footsie range, he can't do it as often or as effectively because of how much control that Ed has. Even taking to the air approach, Lashar has proven time and time again he's willing to throw out the upwards flicker, the anti-air flicker, also go air to air if need be. This is such a tough predicament for Shuto. Perhaps you can see a changeup, who knows? But Lashar being the aggressor, immediately out the gate with the drive rush forward. Anti-air delayed on the uppercut too, being able to kill rush forward. The tick throw not gonna be successful against someone like Lashar.
Another DP against the aerial approach. So ready against anything he sees up in the skies. It takes a lot of work too as well. Didn't like it. I like that punish, the hard knockdown with the drive rush throw right after. We're just trying to play a slower ground game.
Again, the air approach gets shut down completely. That's Shuto's second attempt thus far this round. Perfect parry. The fireball game is going to get nullified on the way down to that demon flip. Kick could have been so dangerous against Shuto, but now finally getting the big opener against Lashar that we were looking for, and also backdashing to check whether or not Lashar would be kind of wild. Oh.
Blitz was after it. Try reversal. He's got the max amount of bar, but he definitely doesn't have any life to give in this sort of scenario right now. When he fireball, can expend a little bit more gauge. The switch ups with the fireballs, put something different on him. Push to the corner. Lashar knocking away that fireball. Still on burnout. Can he get that drive impact in time? The trade. At the bottom, the drive impact. Against Shuto.
What?
Oh my god.
What a lucky occurrence. Lashar making all the powerful reads right now with the drive impact towards the end of it all as well. Shuto is clearly shook. Even after the OD blitz, wasn't able to take his turn back. Lashar is all over right now. We're going to see a level 3. It has to be, right? Not quite yet. Perfect parry. That was a safe jump after all.
Anti-air. One more hit. Medium and a no drive rush. Oh yeah. Expend some bar, please. At least drive rush until jump. Try to call the throw. Get a little bit more on the table. Still Lashar's game to win. One hit confirmed in a level 3 for the victory. Pulls him close. ODDP lets it rip. In strike distance. Caught him on the other side. Send him up the guy. Lashar, 3 games clean as hell. Can we rethink the matchup? Lashar Walker moving on 30 points. Yogibo reject with Crazy Raccoon.
You had mentioned the kind of stature, the kind of status that LaShar has reached time and time again from his adventures from EWC up until this point. He made the statement out against Shuto on that way down with the punish counter. Your arms are clearly too short to box with God. LaShar taking it down 3 games straight against Shuto, and seeing Shuto in this manner right now, being completely flustered and defeated, is a very rare occasion. I cannot believe it, but one thing is for certain, man, LaShar, we talked about it earlier, he is looking unstoppable. This man truly is the golden finger, the man with the Midas touch. Whatever stick he decides to show up with, whatever hitbox he decides to show up with, best believe it's going to be a gold record no matter what. LaShar pulling in great work, a lot of points. He's got to be one of the main top earners, main point earners at this point, but Yogibo Reject walking away with 30 points to their name. I think they're tied in with CAG OSAKA with 135. I don't know how that sets them apart in terms of the tiebreaker thus far. I think with the game differential, it really depends. But as it is right now, we have 2 teams, OSAKA and Reject, at 135. Pretty good, pretty close.
Those are the teams that were above the playoff line to stay final. They're continuing to stay up there. Crazy Raccoon only walking away with 10. That's very unfortunate, but go back to what you were saying, like LaShar, yeah, maybe Ed is strong, but to utilize that character takes a lot of work. He is a high investment, high return, but it takes a long time. So look, LaShar has grasped the character, how to utilize him with the anti-airs perfectly, what to do right after in certain scenarios and things like that. That clean, pristine playstyle definitely works out very well for him. And for him to add a little bit of extra dirt, I feel like that was one of the things that players were talking about. They're like, man, if he got a little bit dirtier with his characters, he'd be super nasty at this game. That DP wasn't even necessary. LaShar, I'm gonna have to message him later and be like, hey man, what do you mean by that? What was that DP for, bro? Because that was super sick. I hope people clip that later on. But LaShar, definitely a player to be watching out for, not only obviously in Street Fighter League, but beyond that. We're getting the winner interviews out here to Tormeshi. Really intense matchup, but LaShar was just on fire today. Unfortunately, you know, beyond him, maybe on the sicker side of things, you know, his character is not the best to go up for the away side. If you're like on the away side, it's not so good to have that character up, but I think on the home side, I hope to see this character come up. I want to see the new buffs that have happened to Sim. I want to see him taking away all that gray life with just one touch, that heavy kick punish counter, follow up right after. I want to see the new Sim come into play.
I would love that to potentially happen going forward. But even Torimeshi, again, kind of feeling under the weather, if I read that correctly, question mark, going into it? Maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping. Was that something that was put out there? But maybe not. I don't know. Either way. So, Torimeshi, I kind of agree. I would love to see him play, also with like the new changes to Dalsim. Tokido getting some of his words in there. We're both thinking either of us is weak on drive impact. Still the same with this game as well. Tokido throwing out that many drive impacts against Kazunoko is actually kind of wild. So he wanted to test that theory out. And what a way to do so. I think, you know, getting awarded on top of like theorizing and finding success in that nature is actually pretty darn good. I love that too, going in for Tokido.
How old are you? You my age, like around that age group? Yeah, I'm hitting those drive impacts continuously. How much do I get paid for that? But just again, like to be able to throw those out against high level players, like jokes aside, takes a lot of work, and that takes a lot of like understanding how much stress that they're in, and if they're not reacting, you gather that data, and when to do it properly is why they're able to use that like to a victory sort of standpoint rather than just kind of throwing it out. Akira says we should have threw more against Bonchan, but was blown away by LaShar's play. So he wanted to throw more. He should have thrown more. In terms of when he had that, I guess, close enough after the crouching mini kicks and things like that. Looping pressure is really big, strong for that character. But man, I can't wait to see what LaShar is about to say. This guy is on fire. I'm sorry, Ending Walker. I know you don't want to hear this. I know you don't want to have to see this because it's going to create more goofiness on the timeline. But the way LaShar played today with this Ed is ridiculous. But again, you know, the character's being so strong, so close. It's not just I pick up Ed and I win. There's a lot of strategy that goes in between this. So I don't want to take away a lot from LaShar and how he plays, because honestly, he's the reason why he won. And it's not because he picked up Ed. He is the reason. Where he was standing to anti-air properly against the fireballs, what to do in certain situations, how to cash out right properly, keep the bar up to the bottom and the top in terms of drive gauge and super. It's just LaShar just ready.
Yeah, I don't want that to ever be like taken out of context. I don't think there's ever. I don't see it on the timeline where people say like, oh, you're only winning because you're picking Ed. Ed is very hard to pilot. I think he's one of the harder characters on a technical level to figure out because he's so dependent on like some of the counterplays. I don't think I've ever really seen on the timeline people say like, Ed is so cheap that you're getting free wins. So I don't want that to ever be a conversation like ever, because it's not right now, right? So I don't even want to like throw that in the air. Ed right now, I will say, takes a lot of skill to develop. I think there's a lot that goes into what needs to be done to play at the certain ranges confidently and also get the Ws. I think there's a lot that goes into even level 2s, right? The desyncs and whatnot, right? Going into the proper spacing and also going into the proper timing. I've done it myself. I've seen how difficult it can be in the repetitions to get it consistently, right? And even so, we didn't even see a single level 2 that was desynced from the side of Lashar. It was like pretty much off of a big confirm. So with that in mind, I don't want to see anywhere near the timeline people saying you got carried because of Ed, because that's just not true. That is just blatant like, falsities, man. There's no way. I don't think there's going to be anyone who can talk about that from a commentary's perspective. I don't want to see anybody meme about it because, again, Ed is different. Ed is mad different.
Takes a lot of work too as well, and development of the character around other characters. This takes like a lot of skill. Even level 2, you see a lot of players utilizing that as like a utility thing as well. Like the character's still being developed.
That's what I was saying. Exactly that. Like yeah, level 2 is hard to do.
This takes. It's very, very hard to do. And then around just the range that you want to play effectively, not get drive impacted, the structure you're using with like kill switch, with kill rush, just to be able to back off and find the proper anti-airs. Look at these punishes that happen against Demon Flips don't happen this consistently unless you're at the top level. We see Lashar do this continuously against the Demon Flip, against NL in the LCQ. We're seeing it out here. This is a man that understands how to play Street Fighter, how to play against the characters, and is well rewarded. 3 straight games, 30 points, Yogibo recheck. Well rewarded, 10 points only for Crazy Raccoon. This is the second team that we've seen today stay in that top spot. We'll see if this sort of trend continues. The Hiroshima team, Itsuka, and VARREL coming up after the break in a bit, but we're going to go through a few more things to talk about and just kind of discuss before we get to that point. Get ahead of myself. I just want to see more action.
That's fair. Again, Lashar, the way he decimated Shuto, that is a prime example of somebody who's just absolutely prepared for the matchup. I think every single instance of Shuto showing out some of the strategies he's been working on from his streams and also playing against certain Ed players, it was just broken down. Lashar was the one to kind of pick those pieces up, assess it, able to adapt on the fly too, and make those big matches happen. Lashar doesn't get 3-0s that often, but when he does, it's in a very convincing manner that shows us that he's ready with this character. He's absolutely ready for the meta too. So I love that from Lashar, but I also love the fact that Shuto had to go through that growing pain. He had to go through someone like Lashar to figure out what needs to be done. As Crazy Raccoon currently sits under the playoff line, I think he's only going to get better too and being able to like figure that matchup out as well. So really excited to see it overall. Also exciting to see everything that's been going down in the land of Japan in regards to a lot of the viewing parties that we have for some of the fans out there that have like really started to dive into this game. A really enjoyable experience overall to see the amount of hype out in the streets too. You get to see like Street Fighter League being showcased on like flyers. You get to see Street Fighter stuff being showcased out in the streets. There's even like full-on Capcom buildings in Ikebukuro that show off like some of the gachas, the big collaborations that have been happening too with other games. Really, really cool to see. And some of the gachas actually include, now that I remember, some of those pins that are showcased right here on the right side. But one of the things I do want to check out is how to get the whole like signed prints of like the players of the Polaroids. That actually looks really sick. That's got to be a raffle, right? 100% it has to be a raffle.
Yeah, there's only going to be able to get that. That's probably super limited. Maybe we can go to like the CPTs and try to get like the players to sign and get the photos and get them to sign everything. But I don't think all the players travel all the time or at the same time at the very least. But man, I'd love to have that. And the pins, as you mentioned as well. I would spend mad money on those. Even no matter how much I'm failing, I would do whatever it takes to get those pins. Those are super sick. I need those in my life. Where I put them, I don't know. But I would like to have them.
Yeah, I brought back too many knickknacks, man. I've got too many like pins and shirts and like random Street Fighter peripherals and stuff, but it's all for a good cause, man. I get to decorate my room with some really nerdy stuff. But it's again, it's all real fun and cool to kind of like invest into the scene and see how much it's grown. I think there's a lot of opportunities too for a lot of the players on the casual side to pick up the game and also really become a fan, especially with this event coming up, right? The playoffs for Street Fighter League Japan happening in December on the 21st and 22nd. Mark your calendars. If you're in Japan, be sure to watch it live with that PPV service. The grand finals happening in February on the 11th. Those are going to be in person, in-house, in the stadium. I highly encourage you guys, if you're in Japan during that time frame, to visit. And if you do happen to be there, make sure to do yourself a service and get these tickets now and pre-order, because again, these could be selling out real soon. I don't know what the status is like currently, but be sure to do so.
Definitely lock in. The energy in an offline sort of tournament is unmatched. Being able to be around people who are like-minded and enjoying the same thing. It's like a sporting event. You ever seen those? It's just like that, I would imagine. So, man, I'd love to commentate out there. But speaking of commentary, we have one more match to commentate. Hiroshima Team Isuka versus VARREL coming up after this break. Get your snacks, get your water, but come right back for more Street Fighter League action coming your way.
休憩の後はマッチ3、広島チームイクサ対バレル、こちらの対戦模様をお届けしてまいります。再開時刻は約10分後となる21時22分頃を予定しております。それでは再開まで今しばらくお待ちください。一旦失礼いたします。
今日はね、1位争いっていう試合でもあるんで、40ポイント取って抜け出したいと思います。お願いします。
だがしかしバット、私リリー戦もやってる
と打撃のタック、ここはエイタ通しまくった。エイタまずは1セット目。
普段通りランクマだと思ってやるぐらいでいいと思うけど。
そうですね。
ジャジさん言った通り垂直とかいいかも。
垂直はありですね、確かにね。
波動拳結構打たれすぎてる気もする、風ない時に。
ちょっと見せますわ。
エイタがものにして
いい垂直
していましたが、風3つ、そして立ち強キックのスカリにしっかりとリビキプレッシャーをかけていった。
全て読み書きましたなんだ、
このドライブボ島でも警戒していた。
早すぎるだろ。
めちゃくちゃいい。
だがしかしバット
しっかりと与えたぞ。
SS3 かこれ。
これは
偉い。
いいねいいねいいねいいね。
佐賀君がしっかり戻して、おお、ここで打ってきた。
お、やる。大丈夫だよ。
響もバウト、まずは足のセンク逃げている。そして立ち強系タイプからバットのダメージ。さあこれは削りきれない。
上
落とした。どうだ、まだ。うわー、捕まれた。
ナイス
やったー。
マジか。
危ね
ー。いやー、よかった。
あざっす。
結局駒投げかいっていう。
もう何回問われても避けられてもやるんだからこっちは。
さすがすぎる。めっちゃよかった。
Final match of the day is going to be Hiroshima Team Itsuka versus VARREL. Myself, St. Cola, joined with Vicious. Now let's get into this last explosive match. Hiroshima Team Itsuka seating at the top rung currently. The team of heavy hitters, the Heavenly Wind. In fact, Hibiki coming through with that Lily. He's been able to kill a lot of Akumas and other players out here. Let's see if we can keep up that same sort of momentum throughout the league beyond Genesis. Get in the seat. Hikaru coming through as one of the top spots in terms of MVPs out here. After that's going to be the fighting spirit Jazzy, never wavering, never faltering, as he has been a legend killer in the previous season. Let's see if he can keep that same energy out here for his team. Last but definitely not least, the Magician. Always with something different to cast. It's Aqua, who might be coming through with the JP, but on the Blanca, most importantly, this team has been absolutely ridiculous in the top spot, and has been a dark horse into a shining star out here for Street Fighter League.
The puns aside, I would love to see Aqua in the Vanguard position just because it just makes so much sense as the former producer. But anyways, enough side lore. Let's get into the main dish of it all. VARREL coming in as the home squad. One of the biggest things on our minds is whether or not the leader of it all, Mago 2D God, is going to be rocking and flexing the scary Terry for today. But it really depends. They had a fully fledged weekend for themselves over at TGS, being a big part of a lot of the exhibitions going through, and also a lot of the signings with some of the fans at home. So going through it, Daikoku, the unyielding rebel, looks, man, he just looks so cool. He looks just as cool in person. Being able to see him over at TGS along with the hero of Sunrise, Moke, always fun to see. He's really taken to like the popularity of it all thus far with Street Fighter. Prince of the Rapids. I gotta say, this guy's gotta be a part of like a J-pop band or something. This gotta happen. Mizuha coming in the third, all led by the 2D God Mago-san. Very excited to see him play. Very excited to see whether or not the Terry does come through. That's just the sole question on my mind going into Division F games. Now, Hiroshima Team Ikusa, we talked about their current positioning before all of the other matches had transpired. They're currently in first place with 115 points. However, VARREL currently sitting at 60. A pretty significant deficit thus far. Even with a 40 bomber, doesn't necessarily put them in the best of spots, but a little bit more comfort to at least fight back for the second half. Now, with the away team established, Jazzy with Akuma, Hibiki with Lily, Hikaru with Aki, it just makes sense. It just makes so much sense. I could have maybe thought to myself, if it wasn't Jazzy, it might have been Hibiki that gets traded out for maybe Aqua, but I still like this pick overall. Lily has been such a anomaly for a lot of the players here, not only in SFL, but also in the world too.
Before everything got going, we saw like a little intro. Mago was doing the, come on, he was doing the hat thing and the come on, in the top song. But I guess it's gonna be Mizuha. I would have loved to see the Terry. I want to see the Terry. I want to see all those 16 hours plus spent with the character out here in League. We Mizuha to start off the party, which is kind of different than what I thought was going to happen. I thought maybe the cameo would be spent on Hibiki, but I guess you have Daikoku for the Lily, so I guess that's still fine. Mizuha going up first. Pray that we see Mago a little bit later on. But anyway, back to this matchup. We're going to see a different sort than we saw previously in some of the other matches. Mizuha definitely more aggressive, more risk-based with his canvassing the outspout, the right proper distances, going for sweeps raw to catch you walking back. It's been like that since Street Fighter 5. He'll be like that in Street Fighter 6 as well. But Jazzy, last season was a legend slayer. He was taking down all the top dogs, proving that he could be one himself. And now he's back with the Akuma, with the character that he is, kind of made his name for himself in 5. Definitely way better with the character. And, you know, going to his stream, it's mostly been this character. He's like, I got to spend a lot of time with Akuma, so it's hard to switch back to Luke. And there may not be that many matchups where I think Luke could fit these days. I think Akuma could just do the majority of what Luke wants to do in terms of matchups overall. There might be a few here and there, but I think Jazzy rather just stick it out with the Akuma and stick it out with a low amount of health for the extra amount of damage.
I still think Luke does a pretty significant amount of damage, and also getting access to some of the big perfect flash knuckles from whiff punishes like standing heavy punch, right? Being able to heavy punch into light knuckle into like whatever you would want afterwards is pretty significant. The slight change up of being able to harass with light normals and still be within range to connect and confirm into light knuckle is pretty significant as well. I think that change up was very much so welcomed for a lot of the Luke players. Getting triple lights is always going to be a very big problem in terms of like trying to combat against it, right? You never know when they can cut their route short and get a counter poke in. You never know when they can kind of go for like a tick throw as well. So it's really, it wouldn't be too much of a surprise, I feel like, if Jazzy switched back to Luke just based off of that factor alone. I think the damage output is pretty significant. But Akuma, Akuma's just good, man. Like, he truly is like the Swiss Army knife of this game. He can do anything and everything all at the same time. But going into it right now with the interview to kind of cut short the analysis, Jazzy says, Mizuha is a rival. I'm sure he's confident against me, but I'll be doing my best. And Mizuha's like, yeah, I'll do my best. What a rebuttal. Does not care.
Doesn't no realization that like, okay man, I'll fight you, we're both at the same level. He was just like, hey man, I'm just here to play. I guess I'll fight you. You know, Jazzy's like, I'll take you down. Me and you, it's time to go. I've been waiting for this one. Mizuha's just like, it's another Tuesday, man. For me, it's another Tuesday. We'll see though in the match. You know, Mizuha definitely puts his best foot forward. Very aggressive player. We'll see if Jazzy can keep up with that. I want to see what Jazzy's been doing with this character. He's very technical previously with the Kuma in Street Fighter 5 and even with Luke. I want to see how he operates with the character and what he shows us that's new. See what it do though. Mizuha, Jazzy, first match.
I love the theme of the stage, man. It just feels right.
Beats godlike.
Does hit the jab uppercut. Oh. He's already showing off that card of going for the OD dive kick upon wake up. Jazzy's gonna keep that in mind. Perfect parry. Bam. Side switch. Off for the throw. Harassing with the fiercest too. No DP to check the airborne approach. Mizuha. A little bit of answer too, spending the drive gauge for the OD uppercut.
I think does hit the 3-piece. Try to catch him walking back with the 4-medium kick as well. Medium punch, resets with the crouching medium kick. Simples up, nothing big off that target combo. And the walk underneath, that's going to be the feet against the dive kick, using the walk speed. So scoot step underneath, probably was committing to a walk up either way, but that works out here for Mizuha.
Yeah, this is really tough too in terms of the counter poke department. I think Jazzy has the right idea to kind of like sit back and wait a little bit for Mizuha to kind of like calm down and go for the jumps. When he finds his time to strike, man, does he do it in good fashion too. A lot of damage on deck, a little bit of a hezzy too on the lights as well, getting a counter hit against Mizuha. Jazzy is playing it so perfect up until that point. You can't really call out the OD uppercuts too often. Mizuha keeping it ambiguous, and also that side switch off of the jump in, really hard to call out too off of the back roundhouse. Bam for the burnout. Could be a big tide turn to Mizuha. I lied. Jazzy just walking up and getting the counter hit. Off of the throw. Excuse me.
Fear this heart. Good throw from Mizuha though. Dive kick again. The perfect parry. Called out the button, and that's going to be the win right there. Calling out the strings is Mizuha. I like this approach to make up dive kicks. I think we've been pushing Jazzy back. You saw him deliberating a little bit, looking for the stand fierce. And the Mizuha keeping it nice and ambiguous with the jump ins, with the dive kicks on the wake up. And keep the burnout pressure strong. He's with the first game in his hands. I don't think Jazzy's too far behind. It's just like how you check the aerial approach consistently against Cammy. You do have to see some anti-airs eventually.
No, I agree. But it's so difficult sometimes. As it stands right now, Jazzy's doing a great job of keeping Mizuha suppressed. No uppercut as that dive kick was pretty shallow and pretty quick. However, Jazzy being able to get and pick and choose his battles and get the W's where he can with the uppercut. Attempted cross cut, still ends up being a crouch jab. Not too bad for Jazzy, still maintaining the pressure up at least till this point. Mizuha sniping himself out of the ground. Yes! Again! Sniping Jazzy out of the air!
IDP's work just fine. He's got more to work with in terms of drive gauge. OD keeping the pressure on, delays for a little bit, looking for the Imperials in possibly. Drive rush throw, puts it in front up, it's a one-touch scenario. Hits him with the crouch mid kick into the super to seal the deal. Mizuha on set point.
Round 2. I love that sequencing, by the way. Mizuha maintaining his threatening position too whilst in the corner. Jazzy in full burnout 2, looking to emulate that situation yet again. Jazzy still as confident as ever with the jumps. Sorry, the anti-airs against the jumps. Mizuha, speaking of confidence, going with the OD dive kick again. Good patience. I love that.
Significant off these flights. We haven't seen anything big here from Jazzy. No, like adamant fist ender. Drive rush into like a throw after. Been poking away, but it's pure amount of damage. Interruption and the super to seal from Mizuha. All the way through 2 games over. Jazzy, Legislator, Mizuha proves that still more work to do with that Akuma.
I still love the pacing of it all from Jazzy, right? I think he had the right ideas. It's just there's one thing that kind of like distinguishes like good Akuma players from great is knowing when to turn it on offense, right? You can only play passive for so long, and if you allow Cammy to kind of get her engine started the way she wants to play to fulfill her win condition, which is put you in the corner quick, force you on defense majority of the time, that's what Jazzy needs to think about, right? He needs to get on his offensive end and start to pummel Mizuha the way that Akuma is meant to. Akuma is just as much of a powerhouse on offense, but I will say I think there's moments where Mizuha kind of like prevented that from happening. Jazzy just needs to find that spark, some of that ignition in his brain to figure out how to be an offensive beast with this character, right? Because he has that capability. One of the biggest examples, obviously Bonchan, right? Being able to clear Akira's speed style with an active defensive play, then immediately turning it up with his offense. I think that's going to be the best example that Jazzy could ever look for in regards to like how to play that matchup right.
Even Daigo, I feel like, has gotten better. Like he said, that's like a big problem for the Akuma players is getting active when need be, and Daigo's been operating around that. You see a lot more Akuma players, as you mentioned, like rotating around their offense. I think with more jabs that lead to more things like knockdown scenarios would be great for him. But let's see what happens here against the Lily. Daikoku. Yes, this makes sense. Guile against Lily. We saw how difficult it was in the first season. I'd imagine things haven't changed too much in this season. At Rebel Kumite, when Hibiki had to go up against the likes of Knuckle Dude, he got dominated. That was one of those matchups that people were like, dang, what is she supposed to do? I don't imagine it's gotten better. I imagine that he has gotten better at the matchup, but on paper probably hasn't gotten better. Someone like Daikoku is even more aggressive, I think, than He'll drive rush overhead a lot more. I think he'll be a little bit more active with the buttons as well. We said Daikoku in spots where he'll get a little bit more active with his drive gauge to initiate, especially around start. So I don't think he'll be as even as passive. Not saying that dude is passive, but less passive than your typical Guile player. But again, I'm sure he went back home and studied that matchup through and through. Even this season, where she has a little bit more advantage off of her hits, like stand light kick and stuff like that. I don't think it's better for her, but I think she gets more reward overall.
Trying to look at the overall record coming in from between like Daikoku and like Hibiki going into it right now. Again, this is gonna be their first time they've interacted with each other, right? So I wonder exactly how much experience Daikoku has against Lily specifically, right? We've seen this type of matchup, at least in the States. I don't think it necessarily applies all the way through here. We could take it like maybe for face value, but I think it really depends on like the current state of Lily, whether or not she has that install, right? I think that's a really big make or break against Guile players, a lot of the Fireball characters, but primarily Guile, because I think he revolves a lot of his strategy around setting the pace with those sonic booms, right? So I am kind of curious to see how this plays out. I think Daikoku might be the best shot against a Lily, so we'll see how that plays out.
Especially on paper. Hibiki even says, I was expecting Guile, but I was losing to Guile in past tournaments. Today, I want to make sure I can win against Guile. I feel like if you're playing this matchup, if you're the Guile player, you probably rarely ever see Lily just in general because she's a rare character. And if you win a matchup, you're less inclined to be studying that than if you lose a matchup. Now, in the reverse, of course, Hibiki has been thinking about that matchup consistently. He has been dreading it to a point where I'm sure he's formulated game plans around different players, different sort of strategies against different sort of Guile players and things like that, more aggressive ones, passive ones. And I wonder if we'll see a lot more like or a lot less of OD booms from the side of Guile since he hasn't gained as much drive gauge back, or much more bar back just in general this season, I believe. The new patch. I don't know if that's going to be like a pivotal point. I'm sure heavy boom will be fast enough to check and challenge like raw stock ups if you're not doing it like off a proper knockdown and stuff. But OD maybe not as useful this season for Guile. We'll have to see. I haven't seen Guile too much in this new patch, so I want to see like what the drive system in the SA gauge, like what has been done with the nerfs, quote unquote.
It's pretty much he doesn't build as much meter in SA2. That was the only change. That was significant.
That's really it.
Yeah.
At least fine. Never mind. Scrap that off the table.
Yeah.
He's okay.
I didn't know where you were going with. I didn't know where you were going with this, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure they just did a little hot fix with the amount of meter he gains from levels.
Oh, he's fine then. Yeah, see the OD coming through. Very prevalent thing to keep this character from stocking up in the neutral. Also get some of these like buttons like forward fierce, like Wild Horn, stay medium punch.
Yeah, man, the overall damage output that we're going to get from someone like Guile is going to be a little bit different too. Coming in from at least the heavies too. Yeah, but the primary like change from Guile against them was pretty much level 2. Going into it now again, we talked about the wall of booms, the defensive playstyle that Daikoku had kind of led on about. Oh. I'm loving this too. We talked about what happens when Lily manages to get stock. I don't think that's really been a threat thus far. She's been pretty much eating the booms at a mid-range, close to mid-range also. How many booms has he thrown thus far?
A buffet. Every flavor. Finally gets a knockdown, try to go for the throw, but a mean drive reversal, a scrap, anything off the table. There's the anti right there with the flash kick. Perfectly done. Using the booms as a whip punish tool, keep out tool, a pressure tool, everything. Big E with the perfect parries has not been able to deal with the structure in the boost. Sometimes it's the fast one, the slow one, the OD every so often. We saw also Blade stuck in there. Oh, was able to get anything off that shimmy though. Oh. Again, a lot of the booms are going to be coming in. This is going to be exactly the type of playstyle you got to get used to as a Guile player, and also facing off against the Guile. A big way to get this level 3. I'm loving the pace that Daikoku is setting, to be honest with you. This man's boom game is insane, forcing out the jump as the anti-air. I think he's getting very flustered, you can definitely tell. Trying to get his way in, losing gauge, or trying to keep it at bare minimum right there with the tap parries and the purple parries. Daikoku now putting on the blade, the knockdown, full screen again. You jump in, and the command grab, Mexican Typhoon. One OD to kill. One single OD fast fireball. Throw it a button, you might die. Ooh.
Oh my god. That's all she needed. Big pace is coming in from Hibiki. Very expensive at that, but man, he almost died on the way over. I think this is a huge battle of attrition mentally. Hibiki, despite it being so expensive, you're starting to see some of the changes too with like the Sonic Booms, right? Like Guile, again, is able to drain so much of your drive gauge so much sooner, right? A lot of the Sonic Booms is going to be revolving, a lot of the gameplay is going to be revolving around these Sonic Booms now. If they don't perfect parry it or parry it in general, there's so much of a reward for Guile off of that change recently.
Hard knockdown. Dash up throws tech does not connect. Now you see more of the blades when it gets close to the stand fierce in a blade. Switching up even more the wall sort of situation with the booms, the OD for the whip punish against the crouch fierce. Daikoku said, he's like, I'm going to show you a defensive Guile. Today, you've seen the offensive one. Yesterday, today, it's offensive. Drive rush, light does not get in, but does get the burnout and the flash kick. This is fine. Back throw, wake up, punish counter, real estate to move around and does find the anti-air. Calls out the throw. Oh no, defense not looking so good, Daikoku. Come on. Solid puncher. Solid amount of chip.
Dude, the amount of chip damage he just gets off of the drive gauge is so intimidating, man. It does not feel good to just block some of these raw.
He does work his way in, though. Makes something happen. 19 seconds on the clock. Back Fierce in a blade. So many shootings. So many perfect parries. Even that close. Even against the OD. Drive impact right back. He tried to sneak it in. Too ready. Higuchi's steady. I mean, Daikoku, I'm sorry. My guy was mixed up here.
Damn, he's going to call him Higuchi?
I don't usually typically see this type of Daikoku. My mistake. He says show a defensive side of him. It's not about the booms. It's more about the fireballs. It's not about the buttons, I should say. It's a different sort of style. I like this approach. It's hard to traverse. Even Hibiki does get around. You see the stress factor and how much work that Hibiki has to do to get in.
With 2 Windstocks charged up, still trying to find a way to thread the needle against that Koku, but the timing. I love that. What a punish counter. Nice and easy, very beautiful, well done. Also try to keep it ambiguous as to when the Sonic Booms come out. Hibiki, oh boy, what a read against the OD flash kick, making him pay dearly for it. Nice patience from Hibiki. I thought that was going to be more so Daikoku's favor.
Level 1 into the flash kick right after that was a super sick combo. I like that pickup in the level 1. Now more buttons. Less about the booms now. I mean, the booms are still there, but you see like the upside down kick, drive rush right after too as well. I like him trying to switch up that style. You know, now intertwine the offensive and defensive Daikokus. Nice interruption against the stock up. Puts it back to full screen.
Oh, he tried to make it work again. Now you're in the corner, but now also in a spot where you're almost out of meter. Are you going to do it again? He tried to jump. Either that or he tried to move backwards. He tried to like dash backwards, I should say, but whatever it was, he chose movement as a, oh my God, the overhead was coming. As soon as we saw the Sonic Blade, we all knew the overhead was coming. And what a sigh of relief from Daikoku, but a sigh of stress from Hibiki.
Did all that work, and back to the boom play. It's not a booms consistently. Like the perfect parries though, if Hibiki can get that nice lead and put the Koku on the back foot and stress him out, that's when we see the victory from Hibiki. Easier said than done to change up the fireballs. You can see the button, yeah, drive rush button now. The switch up now, crouching into kick. Level 1 of reaction against the Wind Spire. Anti-level 1. Flash kick, OD with it. Half health right now. Hibiki. No windsock to your name. How do you get in? Old Faithful. Try to jump in.
Successfully get a jump in. Despite it being blocked, I think the objective of him going in was just to land that command grab. A mission complete right now. Daikoku back towards the wall, still throwing out a bunch of booms as much as he can.
What was that?
That's all she wrote.
Thought you were gonna catch a button? I don't know if he thought he was gonna wake up with a button or something to catch it with the command grab. He wasn't even in the same range to get the command grab. It felt like, I don't know what that was.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. But hey man, kudos to Daikoku. Completing the mission. Solid boomer, solid puncher. This guy is throwing out as many booms as possible, playing as defensive as ever. I like that. I really enjoyed that. Really well done. Yeah, so a lot of the times we talked about how often the Condor win really comes into play into like Spire. I think Daikoku's understanding of the situations were really well played, right? Understanding exactly what Hibiki wanted to try to go for some of the wild stuff too. Pretty ratchet to try to go for the DI in that moment. I totally understand it. A little bit of desperation, but also that instance was such a wild shot in the dark, in my opinion.
Yeah. You go to command grab anything else. He stuck out a crouching medium punch. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like that again. As you mentioned, desperation, the frustration of finding that matchup still remains with Hibiki. And I like the stylistic difference that we see from Daikoku. He was like, I'll show you something defensive with the moves. And then when he had to change it up a little bit, he did. He going with buttons. He going with the overhead with the mediums and things like that. Initiate with something different to show Hibiki even more stress. And now, if I'm Team Hiroshima, Team Itsuka, I'm still pretty stressed right now. They're about to be a 0 deficit right now on their side of things. VARREL possibly walking away with 40 to their name, or we see a tiebreaker occur. Now, if there's one to do it, it's Hikaru. He could definitely take this to the limit. We've seen him be a top player out here. I don't even think he's lost a match. In fact, let me confirm that. I feel like he hasn't lost a match thus far. He's definitely my MVP. For a lot of people, I think he's everybody's MVP. Oh no, he lost. Whoa! Hold on now. Let me shut the hell up. The Terry!
No, he's a liar, bro. This guy's a jerk. No, it's the Chun-Li, dude. He went immediately and said Moke instead.
Can they knock off points for doing that, please? They gotta start knocking off points for doing that. You can't get us hyped up. The crowd hyped up at home too. You gotta lock in. You say that, you gotta lock in, bro. That's not fair. I don't like that energy.
That sucks. That feels bad. He should feel bad, because that feels bad. Hikaru right now is currently 5 out of 6 games in terms of his current win record. He's got 65 points to his name. He's played in about 11 battles thus far. He's doing a fantastic job for Division F. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a top point earner, which he is, by the way. The only person that is coming pretty close, actually, who's... I gotta say, actually, Momochi might be up there unless this website is glitching. I think Momochi might be up there in terms of points earned, but Hikaru might be second. He does have one of the best win rates that we can ask for. Higuchi is actually on 100%, which is also pretty phenomenal, but he's sitting at 4-4, right? So Hikaru has 1 game over, but also he's played 2 games more than Higuchi in total, right?
He also played that first one. I think that's the first time he failed was against Kazunoko. So, you know, for someone that's going to take him down, it's going to be Kazunoko. It makes sense. But again, Hikaru has been an absolute demon in and outside of Street Fighter League. We saw him in EWC. We seen him putting the work with this character, with Aki, taking her to the absolute limit, even before the buffs have happened with the character. We see it out here against Moke. Hikaru says our team is losing, but I'll make it even and draw them to that first one. Okay, first they have to get the max amount of points. Looking for that 25 now at this point. And again, if there's someone that's going to be able to do it, it's going to be Hikaru. But Moke, I feel like he's understood what Chun-Li needs to do this season. He's understood how to adjust to some of the scalings that's happened, to some of her like back heavy kick pickups and things like that. He's understood. They're like, why are you saying that if you're not playing Terry, bro? Such a troll. Oh man, it's so funny. This guy Moke is a troll, bro. It should have been Terry.
It should have been Terry. Yeah, going into it right now too. Looking at Moke, what you got for me?
I was going to say that to finish up the interview, yeah. Hikaru says, I played with Moke in Saudi Arabia. I'll try not to get revenge. So I guess he beat Moke in Saudi Arabia. And so he doesn't want that revenge to happen overall. But tell me what you're going to say about looking to Moke.
Looking at Moke's overall record, I'm trying to find it on the website. But funny enough, he doesn't show up, which is kind of weird. Let's see if I could thoroughly find this man, because as it stands right now, I don't think Moke has been doing too hot in regards to his current record, right? Looking at Team VARREL, Moke has lost his first day. Looking at the rest of it as well, Moke lost his second day. Didn't play day 3. Day 4, I didn't get all the data, but yeah, Moke is currently not on the best streak right now.
Ooh. Not too good. Also, Street Fighter League, we've seen him shine, but here for some reason so far has not able to really stand out for his team. And this is why. Drive impact against the Baroness of Burnout. Holding quite a bit of damage. Looking for the poison right after this. Heavy kick, Venomous Fang. Puts on the poison, of course. In the puddle.
Oh, you trying to walk out of there? You trying to walk out of there alive? Not with the sentinel that is Aki. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. I think Hikaru more than has this in the bag. He's just looking so comfortable in this matchup, man. It's hard to out-hustle someone like him who has all the time in the world to play this game.
The cheat code. Young, in school still, no responsibilities, but he knows how to use that time right. You know, those dozens of hours that he puts in for the game are definitely used properly. See the structuring. OD, cool fate. Try to get the jump in with the cross up. The DP is there. No drive rush right after. Look, he holds himself, but gets poisoned. Hazachu cuts through. Hard knockdown with the sweep. Stand medium punch, counter hit. Then burnout. For level 3, the Soten. To the end. No, it's not. One more touch, I lied.
Oh, you try to cool fade on the way over. Moke created so much space for himself for that exact error. Nice way to tie it up. What a pickup as well. Jesus, the Venomous Fang all the way into the level 3. What a conversion from Hikaru.
Quite a bit of bar back from that too as well. Has him up in the corner. OD Fireball just gets some space. I guess that Fireball drive rush play that could have been coming through. Blocks it up, but there's a throw right after. Punish counter as well. Drive gauge not looking so healthy. Stand fierce in the cancel. Yeah, knows to take his turn. It's not true unless it hits. This will hit though. Hazachu hitting it's that light lash, that perfect range where Hikaru would like to utilize it.
Oh. Oh. Moke is all over it. The oppression in the corner. Mostly what he's known for. Just needs one more throw, maybe. Yeah, he's going to be backing away just in case. Oh, we're blocking the overhead too at the last second. And the low forward rings out. Moke getting the first game. All right, showing signs of life again with a very rough record going into it. I don't think he's really won any of his matches. I got to double check thoroughly because, again, day 4 could have been a different story. But as it stands right now, he is the biggest challenge for Hikaru. Whereas initially we were thinking to ourselves, Hikaru, he's got this in the bag, right?
Nice and easy and breezy. Just the way that he has been maybe defensive and how he's been able to structure himself. You see the OD Fireball outside of the corner. Now being able to land the serenity stance, spinning bird kick for the Oki. It's a matter of not getting opened up by Hikaru. Hazachu hits the Fireball right after. Knew he wasn't close enough to get anything significant off. The chase down with the Fireball. Ooh, counter hit, nothing big though, but you'll take this as Moke.
Back throw now. You set up, drive rush forward with a roundhouse, the forward roundhouse at that. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Roundhouse double time over into the Venomous Fang. More than enough damage in level 2. Explosion. It's gonna be Hikaru getting the first round again. He's just so dominant, man. His combo routes are just so high damage.
His damage is so good too as well. Like that forward heavy kick to the plus frames if on block. And on the hit, super dangerous. He knows how to initiate properly. If Moke can keep up pace. Backs away, Fireball play, yeah, nice and safe. Maybe Stand Fierce wouldn't reach in time. There's the medium, opens him up, frame kill for the throw right after. That level 2, you don't have to expend a lot of bar to get through. Maybe not at all, to be honest. Okay, looking for a perfect. When he fire pull the sniper. Take the shot.
That was a very gutsy fireball too, like considering that Moke, even if he didn't have the charge, he was kind of sitting back within level 2 range. Aki doesn't have necessarily like the fastest fireball. Sure, he could do like she could do a fireball back into like an OD snake step, but either way, Moke doing the OD fireball was an excellent choice. The poison now applied. Moke, if he gets hit, it leads to a lot of damage. We just mentioned it too.
About to add up. Defense got to come into play here. Let's go for the throw. Goes for the stand medium instead. Swift thrust. Now Hikaru gets to play the lane game. Drive rush crouch. Fierce, the stand medium right after. They go for the overhead. It's blocked out in the trade. Oh, no anti-air from Moke. Just want to risk it. For the overhead. Hikaru, he's too young, bro. He's going to block them all. Every single overhead dealt with.
It's so difficult right now. Moke could still find a way to land a hit. But it's the punish counter ringing out too, and even if that didn't, killed per se. I think he was still within range to get a sweep. Hikaru with the precision of that medium kick, and he used it quite a bit actually to kind of stave Moke away whilst in neutral towards the ending. Right? He didn't want to be overzealous. He didn't want to like overcommit to anything. Instead, medium kick is such an important poking tool in her arsenal, especially when it comes to like a last second, or not a last second, but like a last hit decision. It reminds me a lot of the privileged button, right? Like very similar in statue of like Karen, or in current I guess the current meta, Terry's got a medium kick like that. Akuma has a forward medium kick like that. A lot of utility behind it too, if it's a counter hit or a punish counter too. So I think mostly, yeah, punish counter for Aki off of standing medium kick is enough to get a sweep. But I don't think about counter hit. I don't know if he gets anything other than being like up close and also possibly super, but I have to check the frame data on that again. But for the most part, it's such a far-reaching normal. And it's so consistent in getting those clutch rounds for Aki.
I think he's using it around like Light Lash too as well. Like it's not just Light Lash to close things out. You've got this other tool to kind of structure your offense around to close things out. As you mentioned, many of these characters have these good closeout tools. Like Bison's definitely one of them as well. And just kind of walk forward and stand medium kick continuously. Even when you don't have the fireball to rely upon to kind of establish that neutral like you'd like to, like he's still able to work around. He's like, okay, this tool I can't use because he's got level 2. He's got level 3 could bust through at any point. That could lead him to a scenario where he gets the victory. So I'll just scale back a little bit. Don't overextend too much. Light Lash is enough to overextend. Let's stand medium kick as well. So we're game to game. Both these teams, I'm assuming, talking to each other and telling them what they should do, give me a little bit of advice, or maybe just cheering, like, hey, you should do this or that. From Moke's side of things, I like the decisions to use the OD Fireball when you don't expect. You know, as you mentioned, level 2 might have caught that, but you don't typically see a lot of Chun-Li players use OD Fireball like that. You maybe see it more on the defensive side when their back is against the wall, but not for like an offensive thing. They usually use drive rush like overhead or something different, or crouching mid kick drive rush. That's bar usage that's more typical for the Chun-Li players. So we'll see what the switch up here is for Moke. Let's say in the game where Hikaru keeps that lead and just stays with it.
Oh, he's so sneaky too.
Drive rush command grab.
Yeah, I mean, like, it makes sense to go into like the sinister step to kind of avoid the incoming elbow from Moke. He's done that option a bunch actually against characters that have kind of like flown over Aki.
Beautiful
very
pressure from the
fashion, Moke. Keeping it all together too.
A long sword normals. OD Fireball though starts up the party. Driver throw right after. The fake out and another throw. Back though as well. Get that poise on to get the extensions on as well for a heavy kick. Blocks it up without the button right after. Hazachu almost caught something off the backdash. Karu. How patient he's up in the corner when he has him up in the corner.
Man, he just walks up and throws him. Now he gets to do so again. You can't OD your way out of this one. He tried it. The overhead does get blocked. It's a 4 throw again. 3 bars to both. Moke, you gonna stick to it? Oh, he's backing away. He's tantalizing Hikaru just a little bit to see what he would do upon wake up. No way you get to confirm off of that.
Third time's a charm. Sayonara. The super to seal it. Game to game, round to round. However, more bar at the bottom here. It's on Moke. Early is really good because you have that level 2 if you want to cut through. Rather go for the Hazanshu. Doesn't clip though. That's still a prevalent thing in this matchup right now. Only DP, try rush, a throw.
Oh, that is a classic too. Drive rush forward, standing medium punch upon block. Goes into the jump for the side twist primarily, but it also is such a great throw bait. OD uppercut, OD tensho, I should say, for the side of Moke.
Oh, time of the fireball to lock him down. Actually, OD cool fade. However, the cool fade here from Moke. Okay, no overhead is happening. The bomb overhead. Command grab, jumps away. Okay, says no more. Can he find an entry point though? In burnout against the Baroness of Burnout. Azanchu, there's a punish. Instead, you're dead. It's Hikaru staying solid in these very clutch moments where you could get exposed and exploded like a level 2 or level 3. You know, for the side of Moke, very confident throw out a fireball even around start against a character that has a fully loaded bar at the bottom that could utilize that for like a level 2 scenario to cut through and take you to the corner.
Yeah, there has to be a change from the side of Moke, right? Hikaru's just made himself so difficult to try to crack open, right? His defensive decision-making has been so on point. Making the right reads against Moke in general. And now, if it's not his defense, it's definitely his offense that's a lot of the problem. Moke gets blown up trying to tick throw, or trying to tech throw, I should say. Level 1, close to the burnout as well. Dashing up, applying pressure 2. No real options like behind the whiff throw, but hey, low medium kick. Excellent poking tool. Doesn't leak too much. I'm low-key glad that Aki didn't get a cancelable low medium kick, to be honest with you.
Thank God.
That would have been a menace.
You got like right now. Character's poking tools have been fantastic. OD fireballs we've seen. Defensive option gets the fireball this time. Let's make it to level 2, but expend that bar. Not let it go to waste. Nice, shimmy the finesse and bless. And fireball in between. He's spinning bird kick to pick up again. Bird kick for the throw right after. Okay, has to have that jail impression that we saw previously. Stand fierce again, -3, so why not send that sucker out again?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the last one. That's all, a lot of Chun-Li's norms. Oh yeah, the big punish counter against the fireball too. OD Hazanchu within the right spacing and the right time. I love that from Moke.
I'm loving this pressure up in the corner. Time to sit him down with that Sultan. Moke has been jail no bail up in the corner. He's been walling him out and in the proper ranges to deal with anything that comes his way. Perfect KO. This is pivotal. We mentioned that we're almost in the halfway point of this season. For good reason, these players are turning up, getting as many points as possible. A 40 baller will be very, very integral right here for VARREL. They need this. They're hungry for this. Deny points from the other team as well that is already at the top spot would be great for every team that is watching. Where's he going?
Taking a break, man. They gotta walk around the room a little bit. It's getting kind of intense.
It's all right. Okay.
Yeah, so this is pretty integral, I think, for VARREL. Getting a 40-point W in this series skyrockets them up to 100 points to get themselves ready for the second half. Now, the difference between like that and a Yogibo, sorry, not Yogibo, but Hiroshima Team Ikuza, that puts you in a 15-point deficit away from a team that was currently in the top spot, right? So that is a pretty big deal going into the second half. We'll see if Moke makes this happen. This might be a much more contested race between the top 4 spots.
Yeah, really. The Hiroshima Team Ikuza being so dominant recently, to draw blood from them in this sort of fashion in a 40-baller from VARREL, of course. A team that we've seen rise to the occasion now, getting better about their strategy, where they implement their characters and players. And the players also, as we're saying with Daikoku, implementing new styles. Even, it feels like Moke doesn't go into burnout too often. I feel like before he was a little more confident going to burnout in like the first season. Now this season, even more so, people have figured out how to harass continuously. Obviously, Aki, you do not want to be in burnout as we've seen thus far. So he saves that gauge for like OD Fireball. It's not just drive rush forward, heavy kick to initiate. He's using the OD Fireball every so often in moments where Hikaru doesn't expect. And when he puts him up in the corner, in that proper space where that stand medium kick doesn't hit as well. He's able to kind of just fade it in and out using that walk speed. Even though the back walk speed has slightly been nerfed, it's still very, very good. He has the threat of the OD Fireball he's showcased to keep him captured up in the corner. And the Swift Thrust, and the lights and things like that. Doesn't have throw loops, so she has so many other options to lock you up in the corner. And that's what we saw previously. Can he keep up that same sort of pressure? Or we see something different from Hikaru in terms of like leaving the corner, maybe like delayed jump out. Maybe that we've seen that cross up button that he does every so often. I don't know, man. I feel like when he gets him up in the corner, it's difficult to lead, but mid-screen looks like it's Hikaru's game to win.
Yeah, I didn't even realize the only game that Hikaru technically lost was a tiebreaker match, by the way. That's actually kind of nuts.
Oh, the first one? Ooh.
There are options that Aki does have. I think like Hikaru's done a great job of showcasing a lot of the defensive options. Or at least, like, I guess, kind of intimidating. Let's talk about it a little bit. Level 1 is like the main tool. OD Snake Step is a great tool as well, but again, it is susceptible to the throws. Luckily enough, I think like that tool is going to be great for someone like against a Chun-Li who doesn't necessarily have like a true throw loop. So we'll see if that actually gets implemented, because Moke is giving Hikaru a lot of space to kind of get out initially because of her sword normals. So it is hard to justify Hikaru using that on defense.
Hikaru with the lead, drive rush throw. It's a back throw. Fireball, no. Heavy kick baits out the OEDP. Thought he would continue with this turn. Bait the entire time. Easy bait up in. Hikaru on set point.
No anti-air, perfect parry in between the strings to Hikaru. Looking to close it out now, and in a great position to do so as the poison's winding down. Okay, Moke making the right decisions. OD Tensho against Hikaru.
The drive gauge, the Zanchu perfect parried and punished right after. Fireball light lash. I like this. Go for the super, put him in burnout. Got far at the bottom. We've seen how Hikaru operates. And they're looking mad ash. Careful about throwing out the projectiles. Go for the button instead. Driver's heavy kick. In between the string. It's a super. The level 2. He gets the pickup. Stays in front.
Oh, you might be dead. And he does so. He actually threw it out. Moke getting decimated towards the end. Aki delivering the way he said he would. He's looking to tie it up for his boys. A big W for the side of Hiroshima Team Ikusa, denying the 20 points from VARREL, denying them the big leg up into the second half. Moke looking a little distressed, more distressed than he usually is in a loss.
Yeah, really. This is definitely a big switch up from Hikaru. I feel like, being able to trap Moke up in the corner, and I feel like in this next match coming up, maybe I'm already extending a little bit too far, but I want to see the run back. I want to see them go at it again. I know Daikoku definitely is super in form right now, walking his match, but I want to see the run back from both these players. I feel like if you're Moke, you think a little bit on what had occurred, you talk with your team, you concoct the strategy, you get right back in. Hikaru, no reason he shouldn't go back into this match, in my personal opinion. But man, just the way that he played and was able to get himself outside the corner and not be in the corner was expert level right there. With all the buttons utilized with drive rush forward. Heavy kick, these fake outs every so often, the drive impact. Okay, being in burnout definitely shows you why you shouldn't be in burnout against the bareness of burnout that is this character. That is Aki, and also Hikaru, just how he plays around that is so dangerous. He knows what could come through with the bar at the bottom of the super that could happen. He fakes it out for a little bit and then goes in for his kill.
Yeah, it's a really hard back and forth to kind of go and grasp between Hikaru and Moke. But going into the final part of it, I don't know if Hikaru's going to stay in the hot seat. Maybe he will. I wouldn't be surprised if Aqua stepped up. It is going to be Hikaru. He took a little bit of a step away, but he's going to be going back into it for the tiebreaker set. Makes a lot of sense. I personally would want to run Mizuha in a first to one, or Terry from Mago.
They'll give him a real surprise. It's going to be Moke again. Listen, I would like to see the Terry. Like, how for you in a first to one against Terry? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's either you get washed, you wash them. However, it's going to be Moke coming back to the brink to see if he can get his lick back. 25 points if you win. You'd like to get that W over this dominant team out here. But yeah, maybe Misa would have been a better pick. Misa definitely that aggressive first one sort of cat like would have worked out a little bit better on paper as a player. I think he would have been fine. Yeah. So I agree with that.
That is kind of tough, though. Man, there was so much potential for the VARREL team if they got this W going into the second half of it. I was getting so excited with just like with the possibility of what's to be with like a lot of the standings currently. But I mean, as it stands right now, Aki is always going to be a big threat so long as Hikaru exists, right? He has so much confidence in his gameplay, so much confidence in his interviews because of the fact that he's working so damn hard. I actually am kind of curious to see like where he practices, unless he just practices online all the time.
Sometimes he enters like these offline tournaments every so often, like the Paradise Island, that local that they have out there. I see him entering some of the online tournaments as well, but it's a lot of CFN, a lot of like online playing on stream continuously. I wonder if there's anywhere else that he does play, like if there's like another place that he plays afterwards, if he goes locally, or if he has some like, obviously the battle launches I'm sure with top level players, but is there anywhere else? Because playing a lot of hours with the game, it can't just all be ranked. There's no way, or majority at least.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like ranked in custom rooms. I wouldn't be surprised. He definitely has a lot of hours in custom lobbies.
Karu says, we're tied up right now, but I want to sleep with 25 points today. He's like, I want to sleep soundly with 25 points for the team. Moke says, I really want to win. I'll do my best. You're more fired up than previously. Maybe he's found a strategy. First one's going to be a little bit different. We'll see if he gets a little bit more aggressive, more bar usage with the OD. Fireball just to cut through, initiate. I'm gonna get serious.
Yeah,
First of
I'm
one,
looking forward to it.
One team will leave at 25. Oh, just as I said, OD Fireball to start off the party from the side of Moke. He's into nothing though, but still.
A little bit tricky too, going back and forth between the Serenity stance. That was such a deep cross up too. It was a counter hit. Moke might have tried to press the button, but it was very delayed from the side of Hikaru, so I understand. Perfect parry against Takachi medium, cool fade on the way through, light kick into the extension, being able to check Chun-Li as she's moving backwards. The objective is to get the burnout. Moke not going to give it to her for free. The overhead does get blocked, and the barrage from the lights! More than enough damage, Fierce, just a singular one actually, doesn't need the second one. Moke looking at match point.
At the bar at the bottom two for that level 2. Go to bad Fireball, ODDP. Lets it rip against the plus range. Too far off for the throw. That crouch Fierce extended. A great shimmy tool. It's a great thing here for Moke. It's picking the level 2. Has him up in the corner. Frame kill for the low. Blocks it out, but holds the throw. Oh, he's trying to tap parry.
Perfect parry attempt. Does get thrown. Moke looking to get the burnout. Level 3 all the way through. Moke, he's not in a bad spot. Hikaru doesn't necessarily recover all of his drive gauge. Level 1 from Moke could potentially get the kill. Oh, and it backed away! That was actually so slick. Backdashing away from the fireball, still maintaining the block. Hikaru a little bit overzealous with the cool fate and the big old punish. 25 points to VARREL. You got to be feeling pretty ecstatic about it. Not necessarily the best outcome that they could look for. Moke not too happy about it. You can see, like, even if he gets 25 points, he wanted to take away from Hiroshima Team Ikaza's pole position. He wanted to take away from like the first position that they have thus far. It's understandable, but man, that is kind of rough for Moke. He's like, man, it was possible.
If I just did this and this, but you know, that's hindsight sort of thing too as well. I think also, you know, Moke playing at a slower pace, except for like the OD Fireball round start, I think definitely helped out to kind of like, okay, I got to be better about my drive gauge management, because if I'm in burnout, she will cook me. The reverse happened where Hikaru was in burnout and he was getting chipped out continuously, forcing up the level 3. Didn't get the bar back, as you mentioned, in time. Looking for the cool fade after the fireball to initiate anything. Okay, was just too far out in a distance to even get hit. Applying those plus frames. At least they go with the 25 and they make that top team bleed. So if they don't get the max amount of points, which they definitely need, it's still like a morale boost to let the whole team know that they have the ability to take down these top level teams that are above the playoff line. That you have the ability with strategy and the characters and players to coalesce into like a proper game plan to take down these high-level teams that are above the playoffs. So, like, even though it's not doable right now, it's doable later, I think is the thing you can take away if you're VARREL.
Makes a lot of sense too. Again, Mago getting some of his words in. I mean, the most that he'd ask for as a leader. Everybody doing their best. He's pretty happy about that. Mizuha being up next to bat to talk about it too. A little bit of extra coming in from Mago. We were relaxed throughout the matches. It was feeling perfect. It's hard to feel perfect against someone like Hikaru, who's just so thoroughly prepared, man.
Especially the longer set just thrives in the ability to download what you want to do as things go on. First one's maybe not his game so far. I feel like the only games that he's lost have been first to ones. They've only been the ones that have been able to take him down. But again, Hikaru's still MVP out here in terms of being absolutely dominant. But to Daikoku's point, though, of showcasing a different sort of style, I like the switch. I'm very obvious with it. In terms of running that defensive boom style and then switching it up when need be to use the buttons as well with the drive rush behind it. So Mizuha says, lost a Bonchan the last game, but I kept playing against Akuma. Glad the training worked out. So like he lost that match previously. He's like, wait a minute, let me play against this character, understand how to deal with them in the neutral. It definitely worked out for him to land his victory here. 10 points that he gave for his team.
チームメイトがすごくいい動きがしてくれてたので、このまま40点取りたかったんですけど、惜しくも取れずに、ただ最後任せてくれたチームメイトに感謝ですし、本当にいや嬉しいんですけど、ちょっとあとごめんなさい、一つ
A lot more of a serious tone coming in from Moke too. Not necessarily having the best record, but also like having the best spirits going into it is a pretty big difference. I spoke too soon. Spoke way too soon. Classic commentator's curse. We did get a little bit of the translation coming in from Daikoku a little bit earlier on. Lily was pretty difficult for me, but Moke gave me a lot of advice, and it really is a team game, this league. So having to rely on that also pretty significant deal. And you can't ever take Moke too seriously for too long, man. This guy is a jokester. This guy really is a jokester, man.
I highly suggest people go to the stream. He speaks English very well. Like he's able to talk about matchups and stuff like that, but he'll also throw in a few jokes here and there. But he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. I like that. Keep the high spirits up. Again, he took down a top level team out here. That shows even the gods may bleed. You may become gods yourselves depending on what happens. I feel like Mago, even though he said everyone did their best, he didn't do his best by showing up with Scary Terry. There was no Terry. How dare you, Mago? Fake us out. I'm still tight about that. I cannot believe we didn't see Terry. Maybe next time that they play, though. Maybe he'll be more solidified. And I'm wondering if that's what he's going to be talking about in this interview. Is like maybe he'll feel comfortable with the Terry. Eventually, it takes some time to work with a new character, especially in League against players that are. Yeah, he's doing the Terry thing. So
I hope that's a Terry thing because I don't trust it, man. I don't trust that motion at all. Nope. Not me. You're not gonna catch me. Nope. I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna assume.
Could be anything.
It could be anything. I'm not gonna be the one canceled for it. But we are gonna get again a little bit of the translations coming in. Moke, he had mentioned it. Really happy for the team. Really close game with Hikaru. One thing, Haitani always makes the mistakes in our introduction. You gotta speak right. Yeah, I've mentioned that to Haitani as well. I told him one of my favorite moments was him not getting the names right and players kind of getting upset about it. And Haitani says, I'm trying very hard. Like he's like, I'm trying to improve. I'm working on it. And I'm like, you know what? Haitani, you do you, brother. You do you.
Still working out here. Same with Moke. And I like, again, this pressure in this sequence right here where you backdash with the fireball, any sort of entry point. But keeping outside the range where she wants to play has been pivotal while keeping the lead. A little bit more for you from Mago. We have more to go, but I have a new character getting ready. Watch out for our comeback. So we might be seeing the Terry later on, people. If Mago isn't trolling us and not trolling the interview, we might be seeing the Terry later on. Again, it takes time to develop a character against people who've been playing their characters months upon months, if not over a year. So you have to be able to work with that character and spend even more hours. So we'll see what happens next time they show up and where he shows up. I'd imagine like a first or two. I'd imagine not an anchor position, but still want to see it regardless.
I just hope he doesn't mean in the sense that he's going to have a new character coming through like Elena or Mai. I don't remember who comes out last per se, just off of the top of the dome, but I hope it's not in that trolling fashion. Either way, Talking about the matchups at hand, we just experienced Belc Favu Gaming going up against CAG OSAKA. OSAKA actually got it in a very clutch tiebreaker scenario. Yogibo taking it down pretty convincingly with that Lashar beatdown against Crazy Raccoon, and Shuto just not being able to manage. And of course, down to the wire yet again, Hiroshima Team Ikuza versus VARREL, 20-25 in favor of Moke, falling short in the anchor match, however, taking it in the tiebreaker. And a three-way tie has happened. Ladies and gentlemen, exactly what I was talking about. Had VARREL gotten the big 40-point sweep, it would have only been a two-way tie, and it would have also put VARREL in a pretty decent positioning up top too. So I think that would have maybe scooted them up in the 4th place spot over Crazy Raccoon, but either way you spell it, Crazy Raccoon's got 105, VARREL's got 85. Belc Favu Gaming currently with 30 points to their name is a real big problem going into the second half. Not gonna lie to you.
That being said, though, seeing TS step up to the occasion and really put some work in, I feel like that's a really good sign for the team moving forward. They're going to be using him as kind of like that starting point to be saying, what do we do in this second half? How do we become reborn in the second half, which is where we'll be reaching the run backs. We'll see if TS gets a go up again in that anchor position. You see kind of the standings here. Crazy Raccoon trying to rise up in the matches. And speaking of matches, Division S coming through on the 4th. At the end of this week, we're seeing Fukushima, Ibushingen, Seoul, Shinobi's and Gaming against Good 8 Squad, and then Nagoya, NTB Oja against Net Nation Focus Me to close things out for this week of bouts and take us to that halfway point. I can't wait to see what's going to be happening. And after that, we get even more games. Capcom Gaming going up against Crazy Raccoon, VARREL against CAG OSAKA, Hiroshima Team Itsuka against Yogibo Reject.
Yeah, this is where everything kind of like turns around, right? This is the second part of the round robin for all of the teams in both divisions. Again, Division S, Division F. You guys do not want to miss it. Be sure to tune in for the rest of this week. But as it stands right now, there's so much to look forward to. We're going to talk about it in just a few seconds as well in regards to the CPT. This month is action-packed. You want to stay tuned as much as possible for not only this week, but also the beginning of next week, right? We talked about the 1st and the 4th, and we're talking about the 8th as well. We've talked about this time and time again. I just realized it's already October 1st. It's spooky season, baby. But as it stands right now, you see the 12th being blocked out. You see the 19th being blocked out as well. That's for a very good reason. On the 12th, we have ourselves East Coast Throwdown. The following weekend after that, we have the Super Premiere offline in Singapore. That's right. There's going to be so much in the inner workings of the CPT. You guys have to get yourself ready for it. Hence why we are taking a break with Street Fighter League Japan. So be ready for it, man. Offline is coming.
Offline, Super Premiere Japan will be happening on the 2nd of November. I'll be watching that with all of you. Sign up for that. Hit the QR code. Doesn't matter where you're from. You can sign up for those offline premieres and join and get your spot at Capcom Cup. Now, obviously, some of the best of us are going to be out there. If not the best, will be out there. A good time to go and practice and play, no matter what happens, no matter what area of fighting game expertise that you are in. As you mentioned, offline being out here just gives rise to so many new competitors, new storylines, opportunities. Seeing Kusanagi win with Ryu was super sick to see. We'll see what happens with these new premieres coming up. And even beyond the premieres that we see other tournaments that have been rising on the offline sort of scene. DreamHack is this week. I know other regionals will be happening throughout this month and next month. And there's going to be also more in terms of like the World Warriors. I know that that's going to be happening this weekend for Japan. Their World Warrior, I think it's their 3rd, I believe, and not their 4th. I think it's their 3rd. Will be happening this weekend. So tune into that one as well. So many World Warriors that are happening. If you want to keep up, they have all the information on the official website. Also, Incross does a fantastic job. So catch him on his Twitter as well. And there we go, Warrior right there on the 6th. So I'll be waking up way too early to watch that because it'll be action-packed.
Yeah, a lot to really consider in the world of the CPT, a lot of the things that are going on in the World Warrior. My schedule is all over the place, just trying to like keep a balance. But one thing is for certain, if I can't do it and I can't watch it myself, well, hey, I get to catch it at least from the official public viewing. I think being able to scan the QR code and also check out some of the streams that have been restreaming a lot of the World Warrior Japan stuff, you actually get these guys in venue to talk about the matches and commentate it in like what seems to be a pretty intimate venue for a lot of these fans too. Like you get to have the seating to watch it on a big screen and have these guys kind of talk about it and go through the motions of a World Warrior. It's actually really, really insane. I would love to check that out. But also also being blessed enough to have even more offline events with the Super Premiere happening in Singapore the third weekend of October through the 18th and the 20th, hence why we have that week off from Street Fighter League. You guys do not want to miss it. Hell, I would like to get there myself in person. Not going to really play out because, again, there's just too much in the works of getting ourselves ready for so much travel in the future, too. The Super Premiere in Singapore is going to be an intense one. The winner of that automatically sent up to Capcom Cup. It could be anybody's game because Singapore is definitely within the realm and jurisdiction of those folks in Europe. And speaking of Europe, SFL Europe is returning with live matches run every day from November 15th through the 16th. That's right, every day for almost 11 days. That is actually kind of crazy. The production team is going to be Team No Sleep. The commentators, they're going to be going ham. But also, Street Fighter League US, guess what? We're starting things off October 16th every single Wednesday with a brand new squad. We got the Bandits, we got FlyQuest, Cloud9, Shopify Rebellion, Fighting Spirit, along with Red Rooster. You guys do not want to miss it. With the combination of all the new guys that are coming in for the Combines, it is actually so stacked. I guarantee you, you'll be experiencing the best Street Fighter in the world coming in from the current champs of Street Fighter League thus far. That's right, I said it. US, they're the current champs. What you gonna do about it when they come knocking on your door? EU as well as Japan.
We'll see what happens though. New year, new season, new players, and I feel like everybody's rising to the occasion and understanding the meta and understanding what they need to do. And again, make sure you sign up for the premieres because there'll be new heroes coming through as well, no matter where it's at. No matter where you're at, people at home, stay safe, and we will see you in the streets for another episode of Street Fighter League Japan later days.
そしてエントリーの受付期間が10月の15日の火曜日までというところになっているようです。申し訳ございませんでした。こちら延長期間がチケットの販売期間が10月の7日。エントリーの受付期間が10月の15日の火曜日までに延長されているということです。改めてエントリーがお済みでない方はぜひお早めのエントリーをよろしくお願いいたします。そしてチケットの購入と大会参加エントリーなどは公式サイトをぜひご覧ください。よろしくお願いいたします。さあということで改めて本日はストリートファイターリーグプロ JP の2024ディビジョン F の第5節の3試合をお届けいたしました。実況私山と解説はハイタニさんでお送りいたしました。この後は選手の音声入りのハイライトをご覧いただいてお別れとさせていただきます。ではディビジョン S の第6節でまたお会いいたしましょう。それまでさよなら。
さよなら。
さあベルクファブゲーミングとしてはここからの
さすがでしたね。
ラッシュペイントかけていくがこれも押さない。
見えてますね今大一側の。
いやなんかわかんないけど勝った。なんかわかんないけど勝った。5-1。
サイルペイント中足の後ろがいい。
チームに対してね結構攻めづらいんですよね。オーディ無敵技と。
いやー飛んだ。そして飛び。
でっけ
昇竜からの SA3 間がつきどうでしょうか。
ギリギリ残るかもしれないです。
小技からのスタートやはり残っている。さあ勝負の分かれ目中段。
よし。おいはいナイス。やっと知ってたけど完璧やんこれ。
一本持っている。押してるの見てる TS 中段。ああ出し切った。シャガキョー。
いやーごめん。
シャガキョー。
運がいいよ。浮力大吉です。大吉大吉。本当今回結構出る予定だったんですけど、見てわかる通り今僕めちゃくちゃ体調崩してて。
投げ1回受け入れると次受け入れられないようなタイプになりそうだがインパクト素直に来た。これ足りそうだぞ。おお最後か。OD 陣内見事ときたが最後の最後で押し込んだ。インパクト対決。
やっぱインパクトなんすか。
やっぱインパクトなんだよな。
インパクトでかいですね。ドライブゲージが枯渇してしまう。これはゲージも十分持っている。法天豪華。最後はボンちゃん。
偉マジでコンボ偉すぎ。
いいラッシュでしたね。
ナイスだ
わ。上いや着地警察止まらない黄金の右手。 レーシャーの完璧な対応。
やばいっすね。
シュートの引き出しをすべて
完璧すぎます。
いやちょっとうますぎるなこれ。
いやてかやばいのこの
これ。
うわーこれ負けない。いやしゃあないね。
さすがに強いね。
食らえない。そうですね。あとこんだけ上から取られちゃうとね。これでゲージは溜まっている。SA1 でのフィニッシュで十分。
素晴らしい。
SA1 でのフィニッシュで十分だ。
いや
よかった。
いや
ナイス。
ナイス。
おおまさあこれラッシュ。うわここだけだ。飛んでいただ。
ナイス。完璧。完璧だった。いやよく読み合ったマジで。
よっしゃマジでよかった。
しかし絶対絶命の状況フェイント待てながら流れるようにインパクト。最後はがんじがらめ。
いっちゃえ。
ナイス。
ありがとう。
良すぎるこいつ。
よっしゃ
どんまい。
でもオケ有利だと思
そうですね。
メッセーゲージもあるし。
オケとしてはハザンも狙いたいところですが。
おお。
いやごめん。
いやどんまい。ありがとうでも。どんまい。
ナイス。よしナイス。ナイス。よしさ。
やるわ。
ボケナイス。
ナイス。
いやよかった。
あざっす。
よかったです。